And we are coming down in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I am not the hostess Cupcake the Riddler. He's running a little late, but I am Mach.
Sheen Washable.
Nope. I was hoping someone was going to do it.
All right, we
Nice
got
work.
I'm joined by
J-Mart.
The Masker's Massey.
The Red Baron.
And Souls is in here somewhere too.
Souls is wandering. He's wandering around. We're here on the PPRN Radio Network. Kendall, are we on Facebook yet?
We are not on Facebook. We will be momentarily.
Slacker.
All the platforms, we are on them.
Or are they on us?
Ooh.
Jeffrey, what are you drinking?
I have a classic here, a Sea Hag from Nebco.
It's like a GSWD staple.
I've actually never had Sea Hag before.
Oh, well, today's your lucky day. There's 5.
Mass, what do you got?
I am drinking a favorite of the Riddler and myself, and I'm pretty sure that Jeff likes this too.
Oh, yeah.
The Gunner's daughter is making a return.
She's hot.
I was looking for a beer tonight, and I saw this. It was the last 4-pack sitting in there. I was like, I couldn't pass this up, so I just grabbed it and ran.
Good.
Red Baron?
From Two Roads, a Connecticut brewery. The Passion Fruit Ghost.
From his sister's face.
That's right. Was running kind of short on time and beer, so I just went to the bottom drawer.
There you go. Jeff, what's Souls drinking?
Hoppy Haitian Hathy. Hoppy Hathy from Thimble Island.
Thimble Island, huh?
I'm Soulsy.
Well, he's trying a new beer, so
Is
I think
that
we should
from
be happy
Thimble
about
Island?
I'm Crazy Souls.
Yeah, I believe so.
that. Hi, Crazy Souls.
Yep.
No kidding.
Yeah, it took me like a minute or two to figure it out because it said New England style, so I was like, oh, it's got to be Nebco, but I was wrong.
Hi, everybody.
Now I am not drinking a beer tonight.
Which is shocking if you know anything about Mike Mock.
Well, here's the thing. I feel a cold coming on, and I can't take cold medicine, so we got to kind of go old school on this one. Got a little Ketel One vodka.
That's
There you
my
go.
boy.
Gonna burn it from the inside.
Yeah. Tell that cold.
We didn't start.
Shut up. Go away.
Shall we do Toast of Excellence?
Souls, who's your toast?
Threw me on the spot. I wasn't ready for this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you not know the show was today?
Did you guys do yours already?
Are you
No,
serious?
I'm ready.
Go ahead, Red Bear.
Oh.
Mine goes out to Pablo Sandoval. Today, Monday, he stole a base, hit a home run, and pitched a
He induced a double
scoreless
play.
inning.
Who is he playing for?
The Giants.
Giants, they
Oh,
were.
He's on the MLB roster.
He sure is.
Anything's
There's
possible.
actually serious talks of him moving to a reliever.
Again, anything is possible.
By the way, that stinks.
Yes, it does.
It's still kind of funny, though.
Mass?
So I have a serious one and then one that made me laugh.
What was the one that made you laugh?
The one that made me laugh is Raiders wide receiver that got drafted, Hunter Renfrow. You right over there,
Thank
Jeff?
God Jeff's back.
Who else but Martin?
Hunter Renfrow, Raiders wide receiver, credits his mother for his catching ability, saying that she would throw footballs to him and she was never accurate, so that's how he learned to catch.
He'll fit right in.
Like,
'cause
take
neither
that,
can
Mom.
score.
What is his name?
Hunter Renfrow.
Is that
Yes,
the same
it's
guy from
also
the
a baseball
Padres?
player, but it's not the same one.
Real one was Kawhi Leonard finishing with 39 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists with a 65% shooting percentage and tied the series at 2.
Yeah, he was a dick.
Was that the sad one?
No, that was the serious one. It's sad depending on who you are, because
Imagine being a Sixers fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My toast is a sad one. I don't know if you guys saw the story, but the 14-year-old football player who was killed, Jalen McKenzie. I forget where he was from, but he was 14. Already had multiple college football offers.
I didn't see this what happened.
He was at it was after like an 8th grade dance or something. They were at a party and 2 kids started fighting and one kid like shot the other.
Jesus Christ.
And he got hit with a stray bullet.
They're in 8th grade.
Yeah, well,
Unfortunately,
the world gets real, Kyle.
We're not in 7th grade anymore.
We are live on Facebook
Ooh.
and YouTube, so please share it. Eric, he just tuned in. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoy. Grab a beer, and and
Tell us what it is.
as we talk debauchery at its highest form here on GSWD. We're anxiously awaiting the Riddler.
Did he ever send out the show doc for this week?
No, we're just kind of rolling with this.
Which is fine, It's
so
just-
my toast of excellence.
I was about to say, we haven't heard Jeff's yet.
I'm sorry, Jeff.
Mine is to one of the most interrupted players of all time.
Is it Jeff Martin?
End of the year was injury plagued, so it could be me, but it's Jake Peavy, officially retiring, even though he hasn't played since 2016. Pretty solid career, 2,200 strikeouts. He won, 2 World Series? He won one with the Giants when he came back after the Red Sox, right?
I forgot who's Giant until now.
Yeah, he had a pretty understated
He was also a
career.
White Sox.
Yep.
Yeah, but that was the bad side of his career.
He was a Red Sox too, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. What team did he start off with? Mock.
Oh, I don't know.
San Diego.
God damn it, Jeff.
There is actually one more toast Jeff just reminded me of that we should note.
Yeah, I got
Rick Nash.
I got one coming.
What do you got, Kyle?
Mine is to Dez for getting back on the field.
Man, really wish I hadn't let him say that.
Des Bryant.
They know who Dez is.
D's.
Could be a lot of, Des Olshansky, guard. Plays for the Seahawks. Look him up.
my other toast before we move on. CC Sabathia.
Scabs.
Joining the 3,000 strikeout club. 17th pitcher all time to do it.
No, he cheated.
No.
How, Kyle?
I think he
The
pitched.
guy's fat and out of weight, out of shape. How does
out
he...
of weight.
So just wanted to
Out of
sprinkle
weight.
that in.
That
Got
guy has fallen off the mound several times. That's a Hall of Fame career, though.
Ah, Rich, what kind of beers do you have?
So, yeah, let's just crack it, right?
I don't know why I was sitting there waiting for an answer.
The pause made me laugh.
Almost expecting an answer from somebody that is not here.
Who's got trivia, though?
I actually am looking something up right now.
Well, it's Massa's momentous moments as
No,
well.
we already discussed that. That's not happening.
Why?
So thanks.
Because there's very few monumentous moments that actually happen now that I'm realizing it.
So, give us one.
I can't. Nothing happened.
Nobody got signed in 1988.
All right, here you go. May 11th, 2013, I think it was, 2014.
Fairly recent.
We'll say 2016.
Fresh in our minds.
Jadavian Clowney is drafted #1 overall by the Houston Texans. There you go. There's something.
Hey.
Big fan.
Anyway,
He didn't even play that year.
quick sip of silence, by the way. To Ron Darwin. Did you hear about him?
No.
He got thyroid cancer.
Oh.
So,
Mock's sip of silence seems to be more, he died.
so we all do sip of silence.
So we should do 2. Plus, it buys Paulo more time. Let's start now.
All right. So
This is all right.
I can try this. I was trying to do this on the fly. We're going to see how well this goes over.
Mass, this is your chance. If you
Listen.
blow this, you're out.
That's all right.
Our secondary podcast.
So
We're going to have to send you down to the D-League podcast and work your way back up.
that's
D-League podcast.
that's rather rude. All
What do you got, Mass?
So Roger Clemens played in 354 games in his career.
How many were all on steroids?
Or I'm sorry, he won
350.
300. He won
support that.
354
I was
games.
gonna say
in
he
his
played
career.
in way more games than that.
He won 354 games, lost 184. And I think we have the Riddler joining us, so he can answer the question at the exact same time as everybody else. Exactly how many innings pitched did Roger Clemens have in his career?
Oh, fuck.
Wow.
I don't think is there a number to represent that.
I have an actual statistical number.
Yeah, we know that.
I'm going to say...
It's absurd.
Shut
number.
up.
He played from 1984 all the way until 2007, if that helps.
I'm going to say 36,000.
Okay.
Souls?
Knock, no. You're not getting away with this one.
I think I put too many zeros. Is it too late?
I think 12,346.
Can I? Yeah.
You guys are shooting too high.
I think I shot way too high. I think I was on it. Ah, fuck, go on.
3,987.
See, that's where I was leaning.
Souls.
Knock, Kendall first.
5,100.
1,000.
Souls.
Go with 8,217.
Come on, 36.
1,000. Roger Clemens pitched 4,916 innings.
1,000 off.
So I don't know. If we do the math, I think Jeff lost.
Just a bit.
Shot a little high.
Yeah.
To be fair, that was a very wide margin that has
36,000
innings pitched.
Yeah, I really wanted to say 100. It's too late.
All right, so let's
Damage is
see.
done.
Give Jeff a shot.
So
Well,
Roger Clemens played for 23 years and he only pitched 4,000 innings.
What? That's
Or
a lot
5,000.
Only.
5,000. So to get to Mox, let's see.
I brought torture and presents.
Yay. I like torture and presents.
I do not enjoy torture and presents. Why are
Also,
we doing
yay,
this?
pause here.
Yes.
Yay!
We got
Joined by hostess Cupcake the Riddler.
Preston Barton's newest liquor, brown liquor.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Jim Beam
Oh,
Peach.
no.
Oh God.
Sound in my ear.
And then the punishment is, I figured we could all go around the horn and just try this. It's not liquor, but we can dump it in the private suck after.
Oh
It's Vitamin Water's new spicy watermelon
Oh.
lime.
I'm sorry. It's what?
Spicy watermelon.
It's a thing.
What?
It is. It's called Vitamin Water Fire.
Basically.
Vito's
Fire!
here.
Why? Why does that exist?
It's terrible.
Is it really?
I bet you it's really
Everyone,
good.
everyone take a sip and then dump it in the private stock.
He takes
I'm
one
going
titty
to
sip.
pass because I'm getting sick.
All right, you do it last.
But you can't dump it in there then.
It's liquor. It's going to kill anything that's in you.
That's not
Nope,
good.
that's not an excuse not to try it. Get him a shot glass.
We ran out. No, I'm not drinking out of those.
Then
We'll go. We can,
right.
Rebecca, can you go wash it?
what can we go back?
Spicy. I forgot there's lime, too.
The Riddler took it. It touched his like target. He goes, "It's terrible." No expression change.
All right,
Jeff
so
likes it.
we've done everything tonight. Do you want to cycle back
don't
to you
know.
for a little bit?
It's
What do you
weird.
mean you've done everything tonight?
Like we've gone through Toast
The
of
whole
Excellence.
show is done,
Yeah,
bro.
we did it.
Tune in next
Oh,
week.
no.
All right.
Well, hold on. We got some nippers to do.
So my toast of excellence was to Tim Anderson for winning AL Player of the Month.
You know, it's not bad, but definitely won't buy one. If
Nice.
someone bought it for me, I'd be about it, but like
I think there's an ice one too.
that one should just be thrown up.
Like
Here, get
ice
it to your
water.
boyfriend.
No, I think it's like blue raspberry and like
We drink it.
Kiwi.
strawberry or something.
It's so.
But it's like
Ugh.
also I think it's antifreeze.
Nice, dude.
What are you
like
drinking
that.
tonight?
I have this nice 50 ml of Jim Beam Peach from
Perfect.
Fort Wayne, Indiana.
I also have.
I'm popping big bottles.
Popping big
No,
bottles.
I have Goose Island 312 dry hopped wheat ale from Chicago, Illinois.
That is one of the cooler cans that I've seen on the show.
I do like that can.
Big fan. It's urban wheat ale.
Urban wheat. What does that mean?
Means that it's
Wheat
wheat,
grown in the inner city.
but from urban.
Well,
Good on you, Mass.
They pull it from the sidewalks of Chicago.
all right, open them.
The fertilizer is people.
We can
I
use
was
these
gonna
as a
say,
shot
the blood
glass.
of the streets.
Just start refilling these for. I'll do it.
This guy's funny.
Machcine.
Oh, I just put a cough drop in my mouth.
Hey, nothing washes a cough drop down.
So this is two things that I very much hate. I hate peach and I don't like whiskey. This is awful.
What's wrong with
Well,
you?
good. You can do a gross shot now because it's not whiskey, bitch.
You're absolutely right. It's
Oh,
not.
no.
I know. I sell it for a living.
That was a perfectly timed.
I liked it. It's good.
Oh,
All right,
This,
we're
however.
we all just gonna do it on our own.
I thought we
Everyone did it.
Yeah.
Mark didn't do it.
We'll wait for Mark.
I did. Go
Mark's
ahead.
got two.
I know. I'm trying to. Trying to make things work on the social side of things.
Why does Mach have 2?
Because I have issues, and I can't buy beer without getting a couple nips.
Oh. So what'd you get?
It was actually Jim Beam Fire.
Oh, nice.
Keep it in the family.
Rep the fam. I like it.
I don't hate it.
I sold 17 kegs of beer today.
Yeah, that's nice. Where?
You want to sell 18?
A bunch of country clubs. Bunch of country clubs. What's that? Ah, nice. The mass landing.
Can you get a keg of like Jim Beam?
You can get a keg of.
Get a keg of Jim Beam.
Well, you can get a keg of old fashioned made with Jim Beam.
I can't imagine that.
You can also get a keg of martinis.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, you can get a keg that has 372 martinis in it,
That's pretty cool.
like standard restaurant pour martinis.
How much?
For the keg,
Yeah.
I think it's like
Sorry.
5 something.
Yeah, baby.
5 something. It's
582.
What's it made with? What's it made with?
Oh, no.
Goose. No goose.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So Kendall is going to be saving up some paychecks.
I'm into that.
What's up, Jake? Alex,
M&R
America?
dry. M&R dry.
Mama Vito, what's up?
And olive brown.
I'm very much into that. Wow. I'm having a little get together later this week. It's bring your own money to
Bring your own money.
to fund this.
I believe they call that a Kickstarter now.
Also,
Shut up.
Saw Kyle's biggest fantasy today on the road. There was DeCello. There was a DeCello truck. Actually, no, not DeCello.
Disguised as the
It was
mystery
HDI
machine?
because it was down south in Milford. They opened up one of their bay doors on the truck there, and inside were 7 half barrels
Hey, Matt.
of super duper double Citra.
And
Doesn't
Kyle's
care.
not even
So-
listening.
Doesn't even care.
I'm listening.
What did I say?
There was someone that had super duper double Citra.
No, I found 7 kegs of super duper double
Well,
Citra.
you should have bought it for me.
Why? What are you going to hook it up to?
The
My
hose.
mouth would have been the funniest thing you could have
He
said.
said the hose. It's outside with the...
Why would it connect? Hey, Mike.
What's up?
Hey, Mike.
Well, I'm saying hello to the people on Facebook.
Yourself?
Well, no, guy I know, Mike.
Yeah, a lot of people too.
I know a guy
Hi,
named Mike,
Mike.
too.
Yeah, but there's more Mikes than me.
No, there's only a
Hey,
few.
Ryan.
Ryan Roberts, Eric Hansen tuning in as well. Peter Pillow right upstairs.
Let's give the
What's up, Tom?
people what they want.
What do they want?
What do you got for us, Riddler?
Nothing. I have
All
nothing.
right. All right.
So the Riddler ended up.
I thought
been
this
on
wasn't everybody bring your own segment day.
It is. It is.
What's up, Pat?
Who
I
had a
showed
segment?
up.
Raise your
That's
hand.
something, right?
We're kind of just going
That's
off.
Jeff's segment. All right, Jeff's done. Who else has a segment?
I got one.
Do you want to do it now?
Do we have any better ones?
Good thing even on the table.
Hey, Jen.
I'm gonna
All right, fuck
skid
you.
in
We'll do it now.
fantasy.
We'll do it now.
What
All
else
right, I
you
want to
do?
know.
Hell yeah.
I want to know what
Hell
everyone
yeah.
thinks. So
What's up, Andrew?
we have in the NHL, the Hurricanes swept the Blue Jackets. Not the Blue Jackets. Yes, the Blue Jackets.
Closest thing we have to Hartford.
No, who the hell did they sweep?
They swept.
They just
the,
swept the
Islanders.
Islanders.
Yeah, they swept. They
the
swept the
Islanders.
Yeah, the Islanders. The
Did Jeremy Roenick play well?
no, but Eddie Olczyk called the Kentucky Derby, and it was hilarious. I had to explain to Kyle's dad what that was like being somebody who's watched so much hockey. I had to explain to him that it would be like Troy Aikman calling the Daytona 500,
Terrible.
but funny. When you see,
Now it's your turn.
when you see an all-time hockey great refer to a horse race as a travesty, it's hilarious.
It'd be more fun with Charles Barkley though,
No,
doing golf.
he's done golf.
Well,
How do you know?
it's Charles.
First of all, you don't know him.
He goes by Chuck.
Kyle,
Second of all, he does go by Chuck. And third of all, it's Mr. Barkley to you. And fourth of all, you're just salty because he was better for the Suns than he was for the Sixers.
That's false.
It's not false.
Very false.
How's the
Yeah.
Sixers doing?
He
You
made
too.
he had a closer
I
run to a
generally
championship.
didn't- I
Phoenix,
didn't
you
know.
rat fuck. What?
I zoned out the second part.
Joel
of it.
Embiid sucks.
No, it doesn't.
and Souls, feel free to pull that microphone a little
Hey,
closer.
feel free to kiss my ass.
Present it.
Kyle, it's,
Oh, now.
it's radio, though. You got to talk into the microphone.
Oh,
Yeah, I get
Coach.
that, but I'm saying still kiss my ass.
Come on over. Let's get it on the camera.
You guys want me, Coach?
Oh, now he wants to introduce Coach.
What is this, a live studio audience? You're talking to the camera?
Type yes if you want to meet him.
We need
Kyle,
that, like, fake
Kyle
not
Zach
want to
Morris
be
Souls.
If you want to be coach, just type yes. If you,
You
don't,
do not
then don't
want to be
reply.
coach.
Let's give the
If
people
you want to
what they
give
want.
Cleveland his first scene of the episode, no, never mind. All right, so the Hurricanes swept the Islanders.
Yes.
The Bruins knotted it up. They took a 3-2 series lead on the Blue Jackets.
Mm-hmm.
The Stars forced a Game 7, as did the
Avalanche.
Avalanche. Well, the Avalanche didn't force the Game 7. I don't know. There's a bunch of shit going on. But right now,
That's a pickup.
we
truck.
have an actual serious chance at seeing all 4 teams, both Western and Eastern Conference Finals, being all wild card matchups.
Which would be awesome.
Do you think it'd be awesome, Kyle?
I think it's good, but I don't think it's what's best for the sport.
Why not?
Because you still want those dominant teams in the playoffs, like the NBA.
No one wants the dominant teams in the playoffs.
They're still
We
giving
want the
great matchups.
Knicks.
That's false.
Get the Knicks in the NHL playoffs.
No matter what.
Just so you know, Jeff and I will be starting our own podcast if Melo goes back to the Knicks and Rose goes back to the Bulls.
Yes.
It'll be called 2012.
With our special guest, Nate Robinson.
It'll be called 2012.
Please, Nate.
Because here's my reasoning, and that is because no matter how much people hate the Warriors,
Who's next?
they're always gonna tune in. Like,
False.
Same thing with LeBron.
yeah, and like you got the Lightning powerhouse team. People
Pete?
still want to see them play.
Do you want to see them play?
Yeah, they're the best. They were the best team in NHL this year.
I thought you were.
All right, so just real quick. They played about 86 games this season.
How many did you watch?
How many did you watch?
2.5. If you're counting all the like post-
Highlights.
No,
of watch.
Kyle. Yeah, exactly. Watching all the highlights of all the games doesn't add up to 2.5 games.
I watched 5.
Oh yeah, prove it.
How?
Show us, Coach.
Come
Show
on.
us the tape. Let's see, Coach.
All right, from now on, moving forward, everyone has to set up a video camera of them watching a sport. We're gonna start doing like tracker goals every week. You have to text me a still image of, or like a video at least 10 minutes long of you watching 2 hockey games, 2 basketball games, 1 golf tournament.
Kyle's going to
watching
send
that
the
back?
wrong video a
At the
lot.
same time.
Hmm?
At the same
Hey,
time.
Chrissy.
Oh God.
Chrissy Teigen?
Thought we made it for a minute. That would have been huge.
Is John Legend making it?
Yes.
He's
He is a
ignoring
legend,
People while making it.
So, do you have a
Somebody
couple lines?
posted, a funny
Signori
meme
Weaver would be
of
made.
Jimmy Butler, and they were like, didn't realize that Jamie Foxx was dominating the playoffs this year. And like, I see it, but I don't. So I didn't laugh. But I did one of those, like, in one of these, I was like, huh, the mock laughs.
He is playing very good basketball right now.
That's cool. They're going to lose.
Probably. They're not deep.
Does NHL always have a 7 o'clock start for playoffs?
Most teams do for most sports, don't they?
No, on the East Coast, I mean, it's like for baseball, it's like 7:05, 7:10.
We're gonna go based off baseball, the weirdest starting times.
No, I was just wondering.
I one time watched a White Sox game that started at 8:35.
I mean, we had a couple 7:05.
Yankees started
I've
at
seen like
7:23 this year.
7:06.
Yeah, like what the?
Toronto Blue Jay games
I
usually
just
start
figured
at
that
7:07.
hockey
Kendall,
being in
shut the fuck
playoffs
up.
would be 8 o'clock. Would be like, hey, tune in. It's prime time.
Well, like basketball says it
Well,
starts
they all,
at 8,
yeah,
but
but
it
you have to
starts
remember,
like 8:15.
you have to remember too that they make the schedule based out as if there were 8 teams playing games right now.
Always, they'll have it staggered.
Because
for...
they don't do it like the NBA where there's one game and then you get 6 weeks off the rest for game 2.
This is true.
They're wrapping up the second round of the playoffs.
Which is a joke.
I mean, so yeah, I mean, who's playing tonight? I think it's Star.
Bruins and
Oh.
Blue Jackets are playing now, and then Sharks and Avalanche are 10.
Yeah, so 7 and 10, as opposed to 8 and 11.
You dumb
So I
bastard.
figure
I just figured 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock is kind of the standard.
hockey games, yeah, but they don't like do double headers for baseball or football. Like you're not catching an 8:05 Mets game, and then guess what? Right after this on, I don't even know what fucking channel you guys are on.
ESPN 7.
Diocho.
Yeah, ESPN 8 Lifetime. But it's not like right after this. Make sure you tune in for the Rockies Padres game doubleheader on TNT. Like it doesn't happen.
It would be on Spike.
Yeah, but like that happens for basketball and hockey all the time. When they have the TNT doubleheader, doesn't it start at 7:30?
TNT is usually 8 o'clock. And
Is
the
it
second
8?
game, 10:30.
No, they're quicker games.
He lies.
Is it 8? Is it 8 and 10:30? I don't know.
How can you predict them to be quicker games?
You can't. They just usually start them if they.
Well,
last
no,
longer.
like by a regulation game is quicker.
Oh.
A regulation basketball game is quicker than any other sport, unless there's no stoppages in hockey. Hockey can be over in 64 minutes. It can be over in 3 hours.
All right.
He's right.
Just a question. I just figured, you know, 8 o'clock would...
You know, they say there's no such thing as a stupid question.
Did you care to elaborate?
There is no such thing as a stupid question.
That's right.
But there is such thing as a stupid person asking a question.
That's also right.
That's right, Souls.
Now you call me dumb.
Well, it takes one to know one.
You should just yourself, mans.
That's how we roll. But very exciting, you know.
Do the Rockets have any chance at
Yeah.
going to at least Game 7?
Yes. Yes, they do.
Calm down, not Knicks fan.
Yes, it is.
Knicks.
Suck.
Kendall couldn't name 5 players on the Knicks right now.
And his Cantor. He's not Eddie House.
I don't think Kendall could name 20 Knicks all time.
Hold on, though, real quick. Is Cancer a Nick, Kendall?
No.
Where's he play?
Turkey.
Let's just give him that one for the sake of giving it to him.
He'd be dead if he was there.
This is true.
Wasn't that a whole big thing like
It
3
still
days
is
ago?
a big thing. That's why, like,
So I'm glad he's
that's
gone.
why if the NBA Finals were Toronto and Portland wouldn't win because Enes Kanter wouldn't play in Toronto. He's too afraid to die if he leaves the United States.
Well, that and like he doesn't think he'd be able to come back to the United States
So explain something to me. Why is Toronto so bad for him? It's in Canada.
because it's out of the United
it's out of
States.
the United States.
He doesn't have a valid passport at the moment.
He
Oh.
currently doesn't have citizenship on this planet.
Yeah,
Okay, that
He
explains
can't
a
be
lot.
a U.S. citizen until like 2021,
Yeah,
and they
pretty
revoked
much.
his citizenship in Turkey.
Pretty much when he retires, he's dead.
Yep. Or he'll just do the Dennis Rodman thing.
befriend North Korea.
Pretty much.
Like, yo, man, I need some help.
But here's the thing, though. After Dennis Rodman became boys with Kim Jong-un, the North Korea news stopped.
Yeah. He chilled the fuck out.
He's the real peacemaker.
Rodman did us a favor.
Rodman is the hero we didn't ask for, but he's the
Give him
hero
like
we
a
got.
Medal of Honor.
He's not the hero we needed, but he's the hero we deserved.
That's right.
That's a guy we should be tweeting at. He will respond.
We should just stay neutral. We go very badly.
I'm tweeting at him.
Twitter war with Dennis Rodman. You lose that bet on 9 times out of 10.
Well, maybe Bennett will back us up. You know, he's been your
If you
boy
start a
for
Twitter
while.
war with Dennis Rodman right now, he will send you a picture with your mom in 10 minutes. Not photoshopped.
Down at the Wallingford Inn.
How old is
Oh.
Dennis Rodman now?
old enough.
What do you,
50s?
Kyle? What do you think about the quadruple overtime Blazers?
I liked it.
No, like that's the best series of the whole NBA right now.
Blazers Nuggets?
Yeah. Most fun. Back and forth. They win one, lose one.
You did it from the account for the show.
I don't
Yeah,
think
it's got to be from the show.
I don't think if the Blazers had Nurkic, they would win that series.
They don't.
But without him, I think it's gonna be tough.
I hope it's like an instant
So you think they lose the
response.
series?
What's up, my Moby?
And how many games?
I think they're losing at 7.
You think Portland's the better team
Yeah.
with Nurkic,
Yes.
but without him, they're not the better team?
No.
I disagree with you. I do. There's only one star on. There's only one star on Denver. One star. That's it. Murray sucks. He's not good.
Yeah, but they're joking.
That's the one. That's the one.
That guy broke a microphone.
Yeah, guy also looks like a dirty toilet paper towel.
Hey, don't hold that against him.
Weird. He's got like a blonde mustache that looks dirty.
He always looks out of shape. Like he looks like he's like gasping for air every time he's running up and down the court.
It's my kind of athlete.
But like he's like
Inspiration to us all.
he played like 65 minutes. He's like,
One more.
If that's what he considers out of shape, when he knows damn well that if he played for 5 minutes, he'd be.
that's not true. I can go for basketball.
No, you can't.
No, I can't.
He does a head thing, though.
Yeah,
That's what you guys
you
know.
ever
Where
see
I'm
a
going.
horse kind of warming up before the
Kyle wants to be mad, but he laughed at that. We love you, souls.
How'd you do in your derby picks, Kyle?
I got shafted.
$9.3 million. That's what.
That's
was
how
lost.
much lost.
That's how much was lost in Vegas because of the disqualification.
So much I lost.
So they're talking about that they can still overturn that.
But they're not going to change the payouts. Everyone's
True.
paid out. What are they
Yeah.
going to do?
Apologize and say,
Vegas-
hey, come
Vegas-
gamble next
No,
year.
Vegas wants to sue Churchill Downs or like the Derby not because of that, because of the people that like. If you bet $1,000 on the guy that won, you won
65,000.
No, so 650,000.
It was 65 to 1.
But there was like a multiplier payout on it
Oh.
because he was a long shot on it. You won a lot of money.
Yeah.
I didn't want to tell anyone until on air, but I won.
I bet 1
I
cent.
put 33 cents.
Yeah.
Good for you.
What did? What would the math be on that? I wonder.
No, but
don't
that's all he
ask
had.
me
That's all
that.
he had left in his checking account after United scores.
Scores, baby.
They're in trouble again.
You know,
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
Actually, off topic, and
I have them.
can't name
I have them
drop,
as an account.
But a coworker had like a stag party, and a few of the Scores folks went there.
The folks.
Yeah, a couple of employees.
I sense that you're leading up to something here, or was
Nope,
that it?
nope, that's
Nope,
it.
That was
just
it. All
employees.
right.
Good, hard-working
That's it.
people.
All right, good for them.
They spend a lot of time honing their craft.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And
Oh boy. Did anybody actually watch the Derby and see the cause of the disqualification?
No.
I saw the highlight of what happened.
because I was supposed to be doing work, but why work when you could watch the Derby in the showroom?
I really don't think that it should have been a disqualification. It happened so far before the finish line.
Yeah.
No.
It
We're not
should have been a disqualification.
Yeah, it should have been a disqualification.
He went over 4 lanes.
It doesn't. Here's the thing. Everyone, like, I was sitting in a room with the great Bob Souls, who you would have thought somebody just came in the room and stole every earthly position this man had. This is bullshit. They cheated him. It's a horse. It's not a fucking car. Like those were actual quotes by Bob Souls. But
The passion.
the thing is like we don't know horse racing. If the rules are that you can't cut off a horse, then you can't cut off a horse.
Let the horse race.
Like those horses are worth more than all of us.
Yeah, and they just shot and killed that one probably.
Do you know how much the stud fee for that horse was? The one that got disqualified?
$9,612.
Oh, multiply that by about
It was a
100.
lot
What
of
did
money.
you say?
I don't know.
Said 9,000.
$9,612.
His stud fee was $275,000 per load.
Imagine getting
You
paid
make me laugh.
$275,000 a load.
What was the name of that horse that was disqualified? Anybody know?
Maximum security.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if Nike came out with a commercial like, we stand with maximum security.
Just him and Kaepernick. Kaepernick's riding the
Ryan
horse.
got maximum security. That's fucking stupid.
Jeff's still going.
While at the Kentucky Derby, I believe that Tom Brady made a $100,000 bet with Danny Amendola that he couldn't catch like
and
3
he
passes.
lost.
I gotta say, as much
Which
as
is
I hate,
hysterical.
as much as I hate Brady, I love when they show him at the because he goes bonkers at the
does.
Kentucky Derby.
Did you guys do the sip of silence for Jalen McKenzie or not?
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, the bet thing with Amendola was hilarious.
You're right. The Derby is like the perfect place for Tom Brady to shine and just be like a white guy.
Yeah, but he like goes nuts.
Did anybody see the picture of Brady, Garoppolo, and Brissett together?
No.
So Brissett posted that picture. All 3 of us back together again. Garoppolo legitimately looked like a guinea from New Jersey that is gonna
just throwing it around.
Wow, that's like a little racial term there. There you go.
look like a guy from New Jersey that's just gonna sell you a broken down car and fuck your wife in the back of it.
That's Jimmy G, baby.
Pre-sale or post-sale?
Post sale.
Oh, so it's not going to be like fake taxi and then he sells you the taxi?
No, he's gonna sell you the taxi and then perform fake taxi in it.
Well,
Which makes it a real taxi, because that's registered in the state of New Jersey.
I like his Twitter, Instagram handles like Polo something or other, Polo 12.
Remember, this guy Max porn stars.
That's right.
And he's got a pizza place.
Yeah, that's right.
He had-
it might be back in business this year. If we get the funding.
What kind of funding do you need?
A winning
win.
season. We're on the right track there, you and I.
Quiet peasants.
How many games did you win last year?
Like 3.
Was it
3 or 4. Something like that.
I thought it was less than that.
I'm on track for baseball. I won my first game and I'm just losing.
I can't buy a win. I think I beat Rebecca. That's about it.
I was like in second place.
Actually, I think I lost to Rebecca.
I say Rebecca's in first.
By a lot.
You know, it's funny. Like she's like, we have the shot bet going. Like if she wins, she's got to do the shot. She's like trying to lose now. She can't.
What do you guys think about? That's why I traded our Arenado for Anderson.
Yeah, she's gonna win. She's gonna win it all.
What do you guys think about they finally the whole not really that well announced court case against Von Miller was finally finished?
The what?
In April of 2018, he took a picture posing with a 9.5 foot long like decapitated hammerhead shark.
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot about that.
He was not charged for any illegal activity, but the owner of the boat was fined a shit ton of money for fishing without a permit.
That's actually really funny.
What do you guys think about that?
Did Vaughn at least like cover the guy?
Vaughn admitted to catching the shark.
But did he cover the guy that ended up getting fined?
Oh, I don't know.
Probably not
Well,
yet.
well, here's the thing. I mean,
That guy's like an NFL Hannibal Buress, so probably not.
but if he was like chartering his boat, then I mean, you should be licensed.
Yeah.
But I mean, shouldn't kill a shark if it's not supposed to.
Well, sharks are dicks, so down with sharks.
Hey,
So you don't like the San Jose Sharks?
Kyle just
So you hate Brent Burns?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of this building.
I just don't like when sharks eat
Newsflash,
people.
Brent Burns
Is that
is on
okay?
your left.
Kyle, hammerhead sharks have never eaten a person.
yeah. Nike stands.
Have you
for
ever
hammerhead.
seen their head? I want you to go ahead and Google a hammerhead shark.
I've seen it.
If you get eaten by
So
a
hold on,
hammerhead
if it was
shark-
so when he showed the picture of decapitated hammerhead shark, did he hold up the head or the body without the head?
He didn't hold up anything. He was standing next to
Oh,
it.
all right.
Shark's pretty darn heavy.
it's like 600 pounds.
Well, that still raises a legitimate question though, because if he's
Also, what'd you guys think of Mel Kiper's 2027 round mock draft?
It was
You
great.
already put that out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what he gets paid to do.
most of them have
Kuiper.
Another Ohio State guy going in the first round.
Guy's a bird.
got him going number 1 overall.
Yeah. Fuck Ohio State players.
You Master Souls, you want to do a 2020 draft right now?
Speaking of, Kyle, did you ever score the
Scores.
Yeah, we all sucked.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
after
but who
the third
lost,
overall
Kyle?
pick,
I got 5 right, if technically.
player or position,
Just like
or a
Both.
player or
writing the
team.
names down?
Both. Just different positions.
Kyle? But who lost?
Oh, Massey did.
Yeah, after the Raiders took Cleveland Farrell number 4 overall, my entire board just fell apart.
So, what'd you guys think about Danny Amendola and Tom Brady getting into a $100,000 bet for
Like we just talked about this.
We
5
just
minutes
talked
ago.
about that.
when?
Like 5
Like-
minutes ago.
Before I walked in?
No,
No.
you were sitting
Oh,
right
no,
there.
This was like.
This was very.
Come on, Souls.
Well, look, I asked what you guys had to talk about. Nobody said anything, so I'm trying to come up with shit on the spot.
What do you think about the up and
We had a
coming?
whole week for you guys to come up with segments, and no one showed up with anything.
I got one.
I have one.
Yeah.
Well, nobody spoke up.
I did. Then I asked if anyone had a better one, and we all laughed, and we moved on.
It was funny. You're a funny guy.
Because to me, that said, I don't really want to do my segment.
I do want to do my segment.
Your segment is what? Shitty coaches?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Do you wanna-
let's hear.
how long do you anticipate this going for?
It depends on how long
Oh,
we want
this
to go.
this could be
Well,
the
do
show.
you want to
Like-
start next hour then?
We can start next hour, next minute. It's your fucking choice, you fucking...
It's not my
guy.
choice.
All right, Kyle, who's your shitty coach?
Oh, Dave Martinez.
Give some background
Yeah.
about Dave.
Yeah, he's the manager that
116
walks...
years ago today. I don't know. Did you mass his monumentous moment?
No, we actually discontinued that segment.
Did we?
We didn't discontinue. He doesn't have anything good.
No. 116
I'm
years
just
ago
continuing.
today, the White Sox and Tiger play still an MLB record 18 error game.
Holy
Marcus
shit.
Semien was playing.
18 errors.
Yeah.
It's like watching our Little League team from last year.
Good coach.
Shout out Wallingford Yalesville.
It wasn't coaching. It was more they couldn't throw the ball at the plate.
You know, we could talk this off air.
No,
Little
we're going to
League
talk this
fans
on
out
air. Because it's still sports related.
Yeah, I'd like to hear how much of terrible coaches you guys were.
We weren't. You try sitting through a no-hitter of 15-run baseball giving up. Okay?
We threw a combined no-hitter, and we lost 15-14.
That's horrible.
The amount
Good
of
You
walks,
want to know something, though?
The guy was this big. It was
They
this
had
big.
heart. They had heart.
No,
Damn
you know
it.
what? You don't know it was bullshit, and then we can move on from this. The umpire went out of his way to pull me aside with the other coach. He goes, "Hey, listen, tell your kids, be aggressive. I got a big strike zone. I don't want a walk fest." And then he didn't call a single strike the entire game.
Maybe he's got a weird sense of humor.
Didn't call one. After the 10th walk, everything should be a strike. Hey, I was so mad when we left there. We got to the other coach looks at us. Hey, you about done with this? Like, yeah. Call it. All right, Kyle. So shitty coaches.
All right. You want to start this now or start this later?
You said a coach.
Let's spend like 20 minutes deciding
I
if we
know.
start an hour later.
So
Alright.
Dave Martinez.
Yeah, manager of the Washington Nationals.
Who might? No, we'll do it next hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was just a teaser for
Who
you
might
guys.
play in MLB this fantasy this week? Anybody know?
You played me.
No, this week.
Oh,
You played Mach?
Oh no, whoever I'm playing,
Sheen
though,
washable.
you're off to
Oh,
a
wait.
rough start against me. I have the White Sox infield. They're killing it.
Because
Killing it.
I'm playing this guy.
so that means I'm either playing you or Rebecca.
Or Logan.
I never
Or Logan.
set my team.
Shout out to Logan. I kind of just hit start active players and hope for the best, and really hasn't been working out.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
It just sets your lineup. But no matter
Oh,
what,
I'm playing Jeff.
beware of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's done nothing.
Yeah, got an RBI. One.
He's got a lot of hype. There's that new guy too, Johnny
Gomes.
Sins.
It's kind of like Johnny Gomes.
I
Johnny
guess
Gomes
he-
is
he,
the Johnny
like,
Sins of the MLB.
Gave up being a doctor and a handyman to play baseball. That's applaudable.
Isn't that usually reversed?
Oh, he does a lot of reverse too.
man, just soft tossing,
Soft-
though.
that was a-
Hammering them home. Kyle, I just want to let you know
You should
that
see his wins above replacement.
yeah, Toronto's going
He's
to
never
win that
replaced.
series.
What?
Toronto's going to win that series. Versus
Thanks,
the
guy.
Sixers.
Would be a dick.
Well, I'll tell you why I say that.
Oh,
I want to read you this.
is that
thing.
Rebecca up there crying?
Yeah. It's something about dessert or something or other.
Ice cream, ice cream.
Yeah.
Treats.
Treats. Drives me nuts.
Is it really ice cream?
All right.
You gonna explain why yet?
All right, let me read this headline to you. Why Joel Embiid prefers the 76ers traveling training room to be on the court. Do you know what that means,
Can
Kyle?
you say it one more time?
Yeah.
Why Joel Embiid prefers the 76ers traveling training room to be on the court.
So when they play road games, he wants the massage table and like all the doctor work and stuff. He makes them put it on the court, so he gets like prepared for games on the court during shoot-arounds.
So why is that they're gonna lose?
So his big African toenails are like all yellow and fungy, and they're getting all taped up and shit. While people, that's why Ben Simmons doesn't make threes
Stepping
because
on
he's
him.
got the smell of Fremunda cheese coming on, the whole time.
Embiid just wants to have, his home bathroom wherever he goes. The guy's not ready to play basketball. This is the playoffs. No time to be, sitting down on a massage table.
Okay, you can shut up.
He's a diva.
So is everybody that plays sports.
False. Matt Holliday was a class act.
Larry Fitzgerald seems like a pretty solid dude.
Antonio
Except for the time
Brown on
that
the
he-
Raiders.
Good for Antonio Brown.
Like, that's not even true.
God, I thought I'd get more of a rise out of you for the Embiid thing.
I don't care.
All right, but you should. Look, you see,
I think they say like
Why
because
should
Kawhi
he?
Leonard's just like going off, which is true.
Remember see the pictures of Odell wearing a sleeveless tux to the Met?
I'm sorry, what?
Odell wore a sleeveless tux to the Met.
Nice.
That reminds me of the suit that Ezekiel Elliott wore to the draft, showing his.
The crop top.
Yeah.
Drift.
Now, Kyle, we're talking about Embiid. Does it make you nervous that he was under 10 points in the last game?
No,
Why?
because he'll go off next game.
If he doesn't?
Go off the game after that.
So
You're not going to just shut down Embiid.
But they did.
No, he beat himself. He didn't get shut down. He played defense on himself.
Anybody else all about Phil Mickelson like doing golf things in other sports?
What do you mean?
Well, today he was at a baseball field. I don't know which field this is, but they put a tiny little, like not tiny, they put like a good sized target in left field, and he just like line drive a fucking ball from home plate right through the target.
That's fucking awesome.
But like he like teed off of it like he was aiming at the pitcher's mound, so he hooked it all the way to the left foul line and drilled the target.
That's awesome.
I'm a big fan of this. Mock's watching Raw.
So, Riddler, let me ask you this. We haven't said anything about the NFL yet, and
Riddle me this.
one of my favorite things from this week is the amount of kickers that Matt Nagy brought in.
We just traded for one today.
I know, for a conditional
From the Raiders.
7th round pick.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. How do you have a conditional 7th round pick?
He has to be on your team active for 5 games for them to get that pick.
But like, if we cut him, does that mean they?
Then you don't give up anything.
Yep.
So we probably didn't give up anything.
No. What do you think of that? How do you feel about having 7 kickers on the roster right
Oh,
now?
you'll have Garrett Hartley.
9.
9 kickers. On the roster.
You
Do you
gotta
like-
address the issue.
Do you like any of them better than Parkey?
No, because they all missed the 43-yard field goal.
Except 2.
Yes,
Well,
that's true.
did
2
you
of
see
them
the
did.
thing?
Big fucking whoop. You know who was hitting 43-yard field goals today?
Robbie Gould.
In the rain. Yep.
What would you be okay with the Bears trading to the 49ers for Robbie Gould? What's the highest pick you'd let them trade?
Khalil Mack.
4.
You give a 4th rounder for Robbie Gould?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, kickers win games and lose games for you.
I'd give up
Absolutely.
Leonard Floyd.
What would you realistically give up?
Leonard Floyd.
You would not
Because
give up Leonard Floyd.
We
I'd-
found it
yeah.
out the hard way with Boswell.
We're not going to re-sign him. We're not going to have the money.
Killer
So
bees,
I'd give up
baby.
Leonard Floyd. We just picked up his 5th year. I'd give him up.
Yeah, they're going.
I would give up as high
Holy
as a 3rd
shit,
round
he's
pick.
he's
I'd
been,
give up a 3rd round pick for Robbie Gould.
he's been on the Bears for 5 years already.
4, yeah.
Well,
Mm.
Jesus. I feel like you got drafted last year.
I would give up a
Yeah.
3rd round pick.
Who was your linebacker that got drafted last year? Did you draft a linebacker?
Roquan Smith.
Roquan Smith.
Oh, Roquan. Okay.
Yeah, the guy that Joey Bosa the Bears.
He played pretty well when he was on the field, though, didn't he?
Yeah. You know, he just held out because he was afraid he was going to get like suspended for some helmet to helmet that he didn't understand. Remember they made all the rule changes and like they walked out of the Eagles stadium and they were like, "We don't fucking know what any of this means." So Roquan was like, "I'm not signing anything because I'm not getting fined for some shit we don't know." And then they brought Khalil Mack and he's like, "All right, I'll sign."
Might as well be part of a winning team.
What are you saying, Mass?
Well,
The Raiders just win, baby.
Shut your
Al
mouth.
Davis? Al Davis, anyone?
Al Davis has been dead for years.
Yeah, but he still said it.
So is Kendall's personality.
Oh.
He's like a cricket. He used
So-
to be a mantis. I was a cricket.
Do you remember the names of the 2 kids that were kicking field goals for the Bears? The last 2, one was kicking for the offense and one for defense, and Nagy made them drop down and do up downs for.
What?
So Nagy, the 2 kids that made the 43-yard field
Oh
goal.
yeah.
He put one for the offense basically and one for the defense, and put a kicking competition in. The one that lost, their team or their unit had to do up downs, while the kicker stood there and watched, which I thought was funny.
It's like a Pop Warner move.
Not even Pop Warner. It's like middle school. It's like park and rec basketball. Oh, you missed a free throw. Everyone's running another lap.
Well,
That's
you
why
watch.
Jeff was always the one taking free throws because the coach liked to watch him run.
Oh, and I ran.
We never ran.
Yeah, we just scrimmaged.
That was a
Half
run.
the time, the coach wasn't even at practice.
That was every Weber practice ever. Yeah. Show up. You guys just want to scrimmage for an hour? All right.
I got ejected from a practice.
Did you really?
Nice.
For what?
Jeff
Having
is
a
an
beard at
aggressive
the age of
player.
6.
Basketball, like, I don't know what it was, but it brought out, like, the worst in me.
Jeff used to show up to park and rec with a Guinness.
Hey, you guys ready to play? They could, like, slap me that was defending me, so instead of, taking it out on the court, I, like, hit him and then pushed him, and then his dad got in between us. And I started
Jesus.
talking shit to his dad.
He made us hug.
His dad's, like, a very large guy, too.
Oh, kudos to Kyle. Kyle was named a Little League All-Star coach. They've only played 2 games. They've only played 2 games, but he got voted as an All-Star coach.
Me and Scott, baby.
Scott who?
Kimball.
Bueller?
Voted by who?
Scott.
Just one person.
Scott goes, "Want to do this with me?" Sure. All right, well, you're in.
You know, they're riding the coattails of Kyle's very successful Little League career. They see a name they know. Oh, he's in.
He
All
peaked
right.
in majors.
I had the bearded majors.
Yeah, you were the only 5-foot kid. Everyone else was fucking little.
Then they grew and you didn't.
Kyle was the same size as he is now. I remember I looked up and was like, holy shit. Now,
And then you're looking down like,
Then I gave up 2
Holy
home runs to
shit.
Mock, and here we are.
all right.
Yeah, he really ended Kyle's career.
That's not true.
I jumped for one.
I hit a home run off Jeff's team.
Everyone did. Literally. Everyone.
The
Kyle
second
threw a
one,
no-hitter.
Kyle, I got a bunt sign.
Kyle threw a no-hitter
I did.
Did he?
and struck a guy out on 2 pitches.
I remember hearing about
Kyle got the most bullshit water jug break I've ever seen in my life. we got a fucking full count. I'm batting against him. And the ump calls time. And fucking his coach is walking out with a gallon of water for him. It's 90-something degrees. They're all hot. And Kyle just steps off the mound. He's drinking his water.
Then I struck out.
Hey,
Jeff.
where's my
You didn't
steak and
strike me out, I
cheese?
ground it out.
Damn it, Bob!
that. That's funny as hell.
Guys,
Kendall,
I'm
how was
a
your Little League career?
fucking full course meal on the mound.
Kendall, you played what, one Little League game?
I played in one. I don't even know.
It wasn't
Oh,
literally.
I wish I was
it
there.
was this
Oh,
douchebag's
It
fault
was
too.
Cardinals,
I
right?
couldn't make no. It was
No.
fall ball.
Was it with the Panthers? Or
Yeah.
Southington. We were in Southington. We got our ass handed to us.
I couldn't make it to the game, so Kendall had to step in.
I didn't have shoes.
It wasn't that he couldn't make it. Mock told me I'm on my
goddamn.
way
Yeah, it was a debacle.
and never showed up. And then my dad's like, Kendall, here's my shoes. Get in the game.
Yeah, I had to
The
wear
other coach was like,
shoes.
Hey, that guy was a leadoff first baseman. You
That's
should've
right.
and then the
tried
other
to
coach
do
was
it.
like, all right, you can
Look at this guy.
play.
I struck out twice in 7 pitches. Now remember that math.
I wish I was there too for the softball game you had to play without your glasses.
One of the better games I
Now,
played, honestly.
Was the other ball? Did you take a ball or did you swing and foul?
I don't think I swung at anything.
He did.
I couldn't keep up. There's no shot.
He made one very good play in that game. I was at second, and a ball was hit to the outfield. One hop, he catches it barehanded.
Fires it in. Another ball was hit my way. Didn't even see it. Turned around. Didn't even see it. Steve Evans had to back me up.
All right.
We'll go to break on that note. We'll come back with Kyle's. You have a name for it?
Shitty coaches.
Soul's a shitty coach.
Shoulder shit.
Souls is shit. All right, that's the segment.
Here's some Baja men for you.
All right, we'll be back in 5 minutes with Souls of Shit. Just terrifying.
And now, back to Getting Sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network.
Welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by Jeff and nobody else.
It's
nobody,
lying.
nobody of importance. Anyway, speaking
Bye,
of
guys.
not being important, Souls, you got a segment?
Yeah. So this segment is just really shitting on
Oh, Ray.
every bad coach in
Speaking
all
of,
sports.
Speaking of Ray, I never gave a shout out. I was supposed to give a shout out. I told her I would. Shout out to Samantha. You know what I got for Easter from her?
What'd you get?
I got a $45 gift card to Ray and Mike's.
All right, so
Bastard.
here's the point where I lose Jeff and Riddler. I don't know what Ray and Mike's is.
Yeah.
Well, you don't lose us because you're not from around this area.
Okay.
Why?
He's from
you?
Newington. He's from Newington. Yeah, he's got blimpies. So Ray and Mike's is a Hamden
What's up, George?
establishment.
Sausage.
They make
What's up, Troy?
a lot of premium homemade subs, grinders, heroes, and they make one called the Irresistible. It's a Philly cheesesteak with buffalo chicken cutlets on it.
So it's like half and half.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that sounds crazy, but
I thought it was. I was like, that sounds disgusting. And then I tried one, and I was like,
oh god, it's
I want to
orgasmic.
stick my penis in this.
I
All
have.
right, so here's the thing. I'm gonna ask: is this
Rich
like a
Thermopolis.
local place? It's not a chain or anything like that.
No, it's a one off. It's like a little convenience store that's got a Subway. a
Right
Subway
over
place in it.
there, I know.
Like kind of like a little grocery
Dixwell.
store.
Yeah, there we
Dickwell.
go.
All right. So how much does one of these cost? Because I might be leaving work tomorrow.
$9.75.
To...
I think that's
$9.75.
pretty accurate. So they have
Yeah, that sounds about right. 'cause I
there's
told-
the giant too, and I recommend getting the giant because it's literally like a 24-inch sub, and it's like probably $13.
Also, if you're really frisky, what you can do is stop there and get one with an ex-girlfriend at like 11 o'clock at night while you're both hammered, and then eat it at Sleeping Giant, and then shit in the woods because you immediately have to.
Michelle or Kyla?
Wait a minute, what store is
All right, so who did that? That really says something about this cast because I can't tell who did that.
It was probably Jeff.
We'll have to talk off. Souls, who's your shitty coach?
I thought that was Rich, our buddy Rich.
Kyle's the shitty coach.
He went to sleep with Giant with an
Right?
I'm not
irresistible-
shitty. I'm pretty good at
Yeah.
it.
Pretty good at what?
I'm pretty good
Oh,
coach.
now
God, how are you gonna? You haven't even pitched your ace yet. You're like 6
He
games
keeps
in.
pitching for middle school. I can't throw him.
throw him, bitch.
Mom asked me to go by the standards, so I'm doing it.
No, dude, bend the rules.
He's throwing Saturday. Anyway.
So you are bending the rules.
So it gets
How about
rained
we go
out.
around the horn with a oh now?
Oh, no.
Oh, now.
Oh, no.
Hold now.
Oh, nah.
Match with confidence.
Excellent.
All right.
Anybody got any of that brown liquor?
Yeah.
I know we got. I don't know what the fuck all this shit
There's
is.
private stock.
Hey, can you fill me up?
That's actually a good idea. Not.
Do you want to
Bad
fill?
line. Yeah, fill it up.
All right, so go ahead.
All right. You good now?
Yeah, you just get on with it.
Okay. So, this
Oh my
segment
God.
It's about shitty coaches. Move on.
it's in all of sports.
Okay.
Okay. We're not just focusing on one area. We're really going to just dish out all the hate we have.
All right. Move on.
Back here.
So how is the format? Like, what
How,
are we doing?
how,
No.
how?
All right, I'm going to
Give
lead
us a
off.
coach.
All right. First of all, Dave Martinez to the Washington Nationals.
Yep, we got that. Go on.
Is it current coaches?
It doesn't matter. So this year, especially, he makes some pretty fucking terrible decisions. Last game against the Phillies, Jeremy Hellickson had 78 pitches, 8 strikeouts, and he pulls them. Because he likes the lefty on lefty.
What an idiot!
He likes the lefty on
How
lefty.
could he?
matchup. Okay. Dan Jennings walks Bryce Harper, and then next batter gives up a 3-run home run.
The batter gave up the run.
He walked the next batter.
I apologize.
Home now.
Okay. But even before
Oh,
that,
no.
Dave Martinez had one of the most talented rosters in all of baseball and couldn't get it done. Scherzer, Strasburg,
Corbin.
Harper, Rendon.
Oh wait, not Corbin.
He
Leaders.
just never could get past the hump. And I get like Dusty Baker was there, whatever, but he's worse. Their bullpen's whack. Make some fucking changes.
That's right.
It's not hard.
Oh hell yeah.
Guy's a freaking 10 ERA. Send his ass down.
Fuck him.
Know what I'm
Trevor
saying?
Rosenthal, we're talking to you.
So are we going to mention like the obvious shitty coaches, like
Oh.
the Marvin Lewises of the world?
Ooh, I got
yeah,
one.
Marvin
better.
Lewis isn't coaching anymore.
Derek
But
Fisher.
he was.
Derek Fisher.
Or Jeff Fisher.
Derek Fisher.
Jeff, would you like to expand on your hatred of Derek Fisher?
Yes. First off, no credibility. The guy. Okay, he was a championship player, but he was always like backseat to the superstar. You know, he has rings because he played with Kobe in Shaq on the Lakers. So then, you know, hey, what was he, 38, 39? Fresh out of the league, he somehow lands the head coaching job on the Knicks. Don't ask me how. Has their franchise worst season, gets punched in the face by Matt Barnes, and then just, that's it. No more Derek Fisher. Fuck Derek Fisher.
All right.
Thank you.
It's kind of like a venting session.
Yes, that felt very good.
I want 3 for each, by the way.
All right. I got 2 more Knicks coaches in the bag. Let's go.
Ben McAdoo was pretty bad. He was pretty terrible.
Gabe Kapler.
Listen, don't be taking my guys.
Shut up.
All right, Mass.
Would you like to expand on
I
Ben
mean-
McAdoo?
He didn't coach very long, but he was
Didn't
bad.
Well,
had
give
a
me some
lot of
examples. I can think of an example for you.
Sitting Eli.
Yeah, that was the big debacle. I mean, that was very poorly managed. But just his first year, Giants fans were like, "All right, we got a guy that's going to be good." I think they went like 11-5 that first year, and then just
Shat the bed.
yeah, real bad.
They got Barkley.
And he never took ownership.
No,
I remember
he
there
was
was
the guy
a
that
big
blamed the
thing.
players.
He tanked for Barkley.
Kyle, no,
And then traded Odell.
he didn't.
He didn't trade nothing.
What's going on over there?
What are you talking about?
Oh,
McAdoo didn't trade Odell.
might as
Oh,
well.
you're
have.
absolutely right. I was getting
Yeah, take a shot for that.
I'm going to go with Ned Harkness. He was the Detroit Red Wings coach from 1970 to 1971.
That's right.
He was such a bad, they won, an below average amount of games. Like, it wasn't the worst record starting wise ever, but it was about 30 games in that the team actually submitted a petition to the NHL. Kyle's not even listening. This is Kyle's segment. He's not even listening.
I'm listening.
He dropped his phone.
It was about 30 minutes.
He's on Grindr.
It was about 30 minutes, or about 30 games into the season, and the Red Wings actually, as a team, during the first intermission, faxed a petition to the NHL to have him fired.
Top of the chain for bad coach.
Trivia fact: first fax in history.
I'd also like to submit Mike Singletary to this list.
Mooning his players at halftime.
He was terrible.
Yeah.
He was really bad head coach of the 49ers. I mean, really bad.
He wasn't very good for the.
How bad was he?
Didn't he win, I think he won, what did he coach, 3 years? And
He
he
showed
won,
his ass.
8 games?
Yeah.
Better than the one we're not talking about yet.
Mark Trestman?
He tried to be hey, I'm still in the locker room as your coach and have that intensity, but it doesn't translate the same. It's like you got to be a coach.
I have a feeling that his pep talk every game was, I won a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I know what I'm talking about.
To be fair, that was Mike Ditka's.
Coach, I'm a kicker. So hit him. And then that Pat McAfee.
I knew those coming.
You guys remember Lane Kiffin?
Yeah.
Ooh, good name.
He coached in the
I don't think I ever watched Lane Kiffin coach.
Florida Atlantic.
Oh, yes, I have then.
Hot shot in college. Hey, I'm going pro.
Oh. Hold on. Who's the guy who coached the Atlanta Falcons and then retired by leaving a post-it note in the
Rick
Arizona
Pitino.
locker room?
I mean, if we're talking about great college success stories and terrible NFL stories, Nick Saban can go to that list.
Yeah.
But then so can Heckens, or whatever the fuck I said his name was, I can't remember. The hockey guy. He was he was always in the Frozen Four for 30 years. And then got fired by his team.
Just couldn't do it.
This is what the Phillies used to do to Gabe Kapler.
We'll get to him in a second.
Lane Kiffin, though, 5-15. It's a Raider. And then he went and then signed a huge deal with Tennessee. And killed it. Because some guys are just better college coaches, I guess.
Raiders went through that stretch of a lot of bad coaches.
Tom Cable.
So I kind of cheated here. As I have a couple names. I thought it doesn't have to be NFL, but I got some stuff in order. You guys like Norv Turner? How about Norv Turner?
He's a good coordinator.
But yeah, better coordinator than coach. I don't know. Was he that bad of a coach in your guys' opinion?
No.
I just think that the Chargers, they couldn't. All those coaches couldn't break through.
They never they got there.
Yeah, they Norv
They
Turner
just
posted
choked
winning
under the-
seasons.
They had Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, I feel like he's not deserving as
Who?
worst
Who's
of all
talking
time. Norv
So,
Turner.
let's talk about Jason Garrett.
Oh, yeah.
Is he a bad coach?
I think so.
I just don't think he has good talent.
He's got good talent.
Dak is not good.
He hasn't.
Dak
He has
is
one of
good
the better
enough.
offensive lines in the NFL, if you include Frederick in it.
Yeah, but their defense was never up to par.
True.
Because they're always arrested.
Blame Jerry for that. Jerry lost all control.
That's true. All they do is sign criminals.
Magic Johnson for coach.
Be just as good as Phil as president of operations.
Speaking of president of operations, are we going to talk about Elway?
First of all, he's not a coach.
He's not a coach.
I said president. Speaking of president
I
of
did
operations,
not say president of
Souls.
operations, my
I
friend.
got one for Souls. How
No,
about
hold on. I'm sorry. I want to interrupt quick. I got a horrible coach. What about Kyle Souls? They got no hit.
No, that was
Fuck
our
'em.
team.
Not Mark. Mark did fine. It was all Souls.
I
No,
coached the hell out of
They
third base.
pitched a no-hitter
and
Yeah.
lost.
and lost. They didn't get no hit. They
We had a
pitched
lot of hits.
the no-hitter
I'm sorry.
and
what?
lost. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we were down by 8 with 7 players and came back and won.
What the hell happened?
You ever watch the movie Miracle?
No, I have not.
The opposite of that.
You ever watch the movie Rudy?
We are Marshall. Oh.
Pretty
More
much.
amped up version of that.
Fine.
You
Sorry.
ever
Dave
watched-
Haxtell.
You ever watched The Little
What about
Giants?
Dave Haxtell?
Who?
That's what I figured. Moving on.
No, I didn't hear what you said.
Kyle, how about
Dave
your-
Haxtell.
Yeah, hockey coach.
Yeah, hockey
Who?
coach.
Who is that?
Stars.
All right, moving on. We shouldn't keep throwing out hockey names.
about
as
Lloyd
they're terrible
McClendon?
coaches, and we're just gonna.
He was bad.
Lloyd McClendon was one of the worst managers I've ever seen. Great, decent player. But he's more famous for stealing the base after he was having a tantrum. He ran off the field with the actual base.
Don Mattingly was a pretty bad manager.
Oh, yeah.
He still is.
Yeah.
I don't know how he has his job.
Gabe Kapler, same thing.
Kyle, how about your boy Eddie Jordan?
Ooh, who's the White Sox coach?
Sixers,
for a long
Kyle?
Robin
time?
Ventura.
No.
I think he was before.
Ozzie Guillen.
Yeah. He was
Or was
pretty
it
rough.
early 2000s?
Won a World
No,
Series though.
2010.
He did. The tail end was rough, though.
Then he got shafted.
Yeah, but
because the old
whatever.
manager was like, "We're gonna tank."
It's not his fault. He had.
I got him to sign a baseball. Actually, the baseball I have signed by Ozzie Guillen is a MLB baseball with black and gold stitching from when the Pirates hosted the All-Star game.
That's the closest they got to the All Stars.
Because he was the manager for the AL team that year.
We had Jason Bay,
Yeah.
Jose Bautista.
Freddie Sanchez.
Jason Hayward Bay.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Gabe Kapler's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's been established by everybody here.
Yeah, makes a lot of wrong decisions. What about Jerry Manuel?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Jerry Emanuel's a legend.
Wasn't a good coach.
What
He was
about
pretty good.
Terry Collins?
Hey, also another great
He
guy.
sucked.
That's not true.
He was a quote unquote cocksucker.
Yeah, Jordani Valdespin didn't get his way. And,
You know where
what
he is now? AAA for the Twins.
I mean, I figured it would have just been brought up,
You
like
don't
while you're
know,
all
man.
throwing out like obvious names, but like Marvin Lewis.
More obvious, Hugh Jackson.
That's it.
What-
Did we
what do
talk
you-
about Lewis?
No,
No,
no
you
one brought up
mentioned
Marvin
his
Lewis.
name,
I
that's
just
it.
I thought I said it when we
He
first
did.
started.
You said his name, but we didn't talk
Marvin
about it.
Well,
Lewis.
what
that's
were you
your
gonna say?
fault. Marvin
Romeo
should have
Crennel.
elaborated.
We'll save
That's
him.
it. Rebecca gets credit for it.
Marvin Lewis would be like the culminating topic we'll talk on. I'm just going through this list. And,
Rex Ryan?
No.
I mean,
Hold on, that guy likes
Rex
Nah.
Ryan took him to back-to-back AFC Championship games.
Rex Ryan for the Bills.
Rex Ryan wasn't a bad head coach. The
All right,
front office was look, guy has great taste in feet.
Rob Ryan.
Yeah.
Let's get to the real Ryan here. That guy sucked.
I want to see both of them with Ron Jeremy and a tub of margarine.
That's a lot of margin.
you guys remember Cam Cameron, coach of the Dolphins?
Yeah.
Yep.
He was a Ravens coordinator, right?
Yep. Led the Dolphins to a 1-15 season. Almost went 0-16 until they, till the Ravens blew it.
Now, if we're going shitty coaches,
Eric
I
Mangini?
got a really questionable
Yes.
one for you guys.
Jack Del Rio.
And I'm only basing this off last year because of the contract. What about John Gruden? John.
I don't hate that. He won a Super Bowl.
It's
No.
too
I'm
early.
saying like
He
this
didn't win a
this
Super Bowl.
second round of John Gruden. Do you think he's worth that money, or is he shitty?
Oh, no coach.
If
is
you
worth that
compare
money.
him to that contract, in my opinion, he's shitty.
Hey, that's a
Going back in time, like, let's say 10 years, you wouldn't give Bill Belichick that money?
Oh, I would absolutely.
I agree.
Souls.
I
Souls
agree.
said that.
No.
You wouldn't give Bill Belichick 10 years,
Yes, you-
$100 million.
What about
You wouldn't
Rod
give any coach
Marinelli?
that much money.
Yeah, he sucked.
What about Rod Marinelli?
Bad
Lions
coach.
coach?
Yeah,
0-16 Lions coach.
he was bad.
I
Not even
agree.
that good of a coordinator.
What about
honestly?
What about the series of Browns coaches?
Hugh
I
Jackson.
said Mangini.
Yeah, Mangini sucked.
I agree.
Mike Pettine
All right.
was pretty terrible.
Josh McDaniels?
Josh McDaniels.
Oh, I agree.
New Orleans Saints, Mike Ditka.
Now listen.
You can,
Ricky Williams.
You can even say Mike Tomlin.
Oh, I agree.
You know, I was kind of waiting for someone to say it, and then I was curious what Kyle was going
You
to
know,
do.
I have a hard time, bashing Mike Tomlin.
Here's the thing.
until-
Great leader, not a good coach.
How many times since Tomlin's been a head
Rest
coach?
in peace, but in all seriousness, Kendall's favorite head coach of all time. They are who we thought they were. He was a bad head coach.
I was getting there.
Dennis Green was a bad head coach.
What about his lookalike, Romeo Cornell?
So,
whoa.
I'll fight you over Romeo Cornell.
Romeo Cornell's a handcrafted god.
Charlie Weiss was pretty bad.
Oh, yes, I hate Charlie Weiss. You know why I hate Charlie
He
Weiss?
went to Kansas.
Why?
Because he was on the Patriots staff.
So was
in the
Romeo
early
Cornell.
2000s.
So was
jackass.
Cornell is
Have you
different.
guys ever
Let me
heard-
tell you
Have
why.
you guys ever heard Charlie Weiss talk?
Yeah,
He sounds like Marissa's dad.
yeah.
Uncle Vinny?
Yeah, he sounds just like him. Pull up audio of him. No visuals. Don't go up to visuals because you'll be like, no, he doesn't look anything like. Like I was listening to serious
Are we playing
NFL
this on
radio
the
for
air
a
real
long
quick?
time, and the first time I heard it, I was like, Is Vinny calling me?
Are we playing this on air real quick?
No.
They are who they.
Pretty funny here. Number 14 on the list. Anybody managing the Pirates since 1992?
I disagree. Clint Hurdle's a very good coach.
Is he?
I
Yes.
like Clint Hurdle.
I do too. I think it's the front office, not the coach.
But everyone before that, though.
Look, all I'm saying, Clint Hurdle's got into the playoffs.
Twice.
No one before that could do that.
Are we saying Dusty
The front
Baker?
office ain't doing shit.
No.
That's you, Bob Nutting, you fuck.
I say that because Dusty Baker has been to the playoffs numerous times.
Seriously, the guy's name is Bob Nutting.
It wasn't his fault that guy robbed his team in 2003.
Kyle
How do we feel about
Nutting.
I know who. Yeah, he sucks.
And his name is Nutting. How do we feel about Chip Kelly?
He
Ooh, that's
short sample size.
What about Dusty Baker?
Yeah, he
You know, I
sucks.
just said that. Kyle told me no.
I also said no.
You already said no.
Yeah,
I
no.
agree.
Fuck you, Yachty.
So, Riddler, you're kind of on fire here. Ned Harkness is number 1, and Rod Mandelli was 5 on this list.
I got one for Kyle because I feel like Kyle would be the most opinionated on this. What about Mike Matheny?
What about Wade Phillips?
I don't think he was a bad coach.
I don't think Wade was a horrible coach. I don't think he was great.
Wade-
I think his team was very average.
I mean, every coach before that had success, and then he happened.
Yeah, but his team was very average. They didn't have the team.
I mean, they had the same guys they have now.
No, that's not true.
They still had Matt Carpenter
But they didn't have Paul Coulter.
and Yadier. Oh, but they had Albert Pujols.
He wasn't there with Pujols.
Oh,
Kyle, what about PJ Carlosimo?
Yeah,
they had
He's the guy that got beat up by Latrell Sprewell. That's the head coach that got beat up by Latrell Sprewell.
What about Gus Bradley?
That's what he's known for.
Gus Bradley.
I don't think he was a bad coach.
He's got run away from the cop speed.
What about Dave Shula?
Yeah. I don't even know how long he coached for. It's like, hey,
He was 19 and 52.
Wow.
Who are you talking about?
What
Dave
about
Shula.
Bo Porter?
I remember
Legend.
Jeff saying some stuff about the Knicks. Did he say Isaiah Thomas?
I don't even want to say his name. It hurts to say his name. He dismantled the whole fucking team.
sup, Tyler, tuning in.
Yeah, what's up, Tyler?
Tyler, tell us some of the coaches, any sport that you think is
Kyle
the worst.
Souls, Little League.
And Chris Jankowski tuning in as well. Chris, please tell us any coaches that you think are the worst ever.
Non-giant coaches.
He's gonna say.
No, give us Giants
You know who
coach.
else was actually? You know who else was
He's
a
gonna
pretty
say
bad
Sean
coach?
Payton.
Absolutely hilarious to look at in terms of his coaching style, but Scott
Bruce.
Skiles was pretty terrible.
He was good with the Bucks.
No.
No one was good with the Bucks except Gruden.
What about
What
Spagnuolo?
about Milwaukee, bro?
Yeah,
Same
Steven
shit.
Spagnuolo wasn't really that good of a coach. But you know, it's weird because like he kind of just fell back into his job again. Which some people, same thing with
Oh,
Wade Phillips. You know,
wait,
Wade Phillips
wait,
just is a good defensive coordinator.
Earl Watson, guy lasted like what, a week?
Yeah, but his team was trash when he when he
Doesn't
got
matter.
given
Your
the
team's only as good as your coach, unless you have LeBron.
Yeah, and their team was trash. Oh, speaking of LeBron,
Luke Walton.
no, he's not a bad coach. Ty Lue's a bad coach.
Vinny Del Negro.
Listen, Ty Lue.
He was pretty terrible, Kyle. He was bad both with the Bulls and the Clippers. He was terrible.
Ooh, what about the one and only Bruce Aaron? No, I'm just kidding. He's great. He's great.
Yeah.
Actually,
mean, I want to debate Tyronn Lue for a minute, though. Is he really that bad of a coach?
Yeah.
But what defines a good coach? Championships, right?
well, I guess having winning record.
So Tyronn Lue has both. Now, granted, I only brought this up to kind of spark a debate with
Then
Kyle.
why was he fired?
Well, that's a good question. Maybe because he sucked and didn't actually do anything. He just had the
Hey,
team
fine,
around
Jeff.
him.
You want some combat? I'll throw you something at you. What about Kurt Rambis?
Kurt Rambis sucked. Anyone? All right, so I'm going to put this disclaimer out here. Anyone attached to the Knicks sucks over the last 10 years. Hornacek is the one exception because he was kind of thrown into it, and I feel like he did a really good job, but he's also, you know, you're a head coach. You have the fucking president who's sleeping at the draft telling you got to run the triangle. And you have Melo having his issues, a team that wants to either rebuild or try to compete somehow. The guy was thrown into a lose-lose scenario and did okay. He should have got a better chance and it's really a shame. But now Melo's going to coach him next year, and we're going to win a championship. Right, boys?
The G League championship.
No, the big three.
Nope, no shot.
You know,
not as long as Jay's Texas.
you know who's regarded as one of the greatest defensive coordinators of all time and a horrible head coach? Dick LeBeau.
Yeah.
Coach for the Bengals, and they were atrocious. Very bad.
Dick-
So bad that he went back to the Steelers. Dick. Don't hear that.
Is that when they picked?
Dick?
Is that when they picked that quarterback?
Dick.
Aiken.
Yeah. I can't think.
Dick.
Clay.
Clay Aiken.
Long-time NFL quarterback, Clay Aiken.
Clay Morrow is what you meant.
Ooh.
What about Dallas Green?
Oh, Dallas Braden.
Great analyst.
No.
I have nothing to say about Dallas Green. Who is he? Is he on Sesame Street or something like that? Any shows that we watch?
What about Caldwell? Jim Caldwell.
Jim Caldwell. I don't know, because it's not that he was bad. It's just
His teams were average, and he
Yeah.
lost Peyton Manning that year.
it was just kind of like I don't know. It was a crapshoot. He was one of the best quarterbacks ever.
But
And
didn't he also coach like Calvin Johnson and Matthew
How
Stafford?
about Pete Carroll?
oh
We
god, I
brought
thought
them
he
to
was
the
a Lion.
playoffs.
And he was terrible.
Yeah,
He was a bad head
He
coach.
was a Lion.
Also,
coach, I forget.
what about that fuck for the Vikings?
Norv Turner?
No.
Mike Zimmer.
No.
No,
Before
Pete-
Mike Zimmer.
Yo, Pete
Brad
Carroll.
Childress.
Yeah.
fucking
Brad
didn't
Childress.
He was
run-
bad.
Fuck Childress, Pete Carroll.
Pete
I don't
Carroll
care
was
how-
bad for the Patriots.
He had a decorated career in college, but was he really that good in the NFL? Sure, they won, but
Yeah, he just keeps getting guys.
he should have done more than he has done, is my point.
I was looking up the stats for this coach, and at the bottom of the article was an ad for husband reveals embarrassing wedding night photos of bride after divorce. So I'm on that now. You guys keep going.
All
the
that
slide on over here,
clickbait.
Oh, it's John James. What about Charlie Manuel? Did we already say him?
He wasn't a bad coach.
Oh,
He won a World Series.
Asa Akira nudes? What?
Man, was a good coach.
All right, we've mentioned a lot of bad coaches. I think we can devote the rest of our time on this topic to the worst coach of all time, Marvin Lewis.
Are you going to tell me Marvin Lewis was worse than Hugh Jackson?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Marvin Lewis didn't deserve
Well, hold on, though. Hold
more
on.
than 1 year of
No,
his
no.
sucking.
But that's just it, though. Do you blame Marvin Lewis for being a bad coach?
Yeah.
But
Yep.
But here's the thing: if someone comes up to you, if you coach 4 straight years of sub 500 any sport, and the front office comes up to you and is like, "Hey, how would you like a few $1 million to keep doing this?"
I'd say, oh, I agree.
So is it his fault? No,
No,
I mean he's a
no,
bad coach.
I agree.
But would Marvin Lewis even be in discussion as one of the worst NFL head coaches of all time if he was canned after 3 years?
No.
No, I agree.
No, he wouldn't.
Well, that's a set. Then Hugh Jackson can't be.
So what we've reached in this
No, Hugh
discussion is
Jackson's
fuck
the
the
best because
Bengals.
Hugh Jackson, even though they kept paying him, he kept murdering quarterback prospects.
Riddler, I think you bring up an excellent point. I think
I
a
know
lot
I
has
do.
to be said
I
for
agree.
for
Oh, no.
Now.
bad upper management. But Marvin Lewis,
Yeah, like the fucking
I was
Brooklyn
gonna say,
Nets.
We should transition into like poor front offices, and I could tell you every team that I like.
Jeff, why don't you tell us that?
The Pirates being the worst. I don't even know where to start.
I don't know. Phil Jackson on the Knicks.
No. The Knicks have they're actually building though. They are. They're trending upwards slowly but surely. The Pirates, no matter what. First off, we missed our window of opportunity when we had McCutcheon, Marte, solid. Just Freddie Sanchez. We had guys that were winning batting titles that you wouldn't really think anything of because they were traded the year after they succeeded, simply to keep our salary cap low. And now you look at the Archer trade. You get Glasnow and Meadows, 2 budding prospects. This trade was offered 4 years prior to. Pirates declined. They take it now. Archer's hurt. Meadows,
He's 6-0.
player of the month. Glasnow, leader in ERA. they do this every other year too. They just trade away their prospects. Fucking Jason Bay. Granted, he didn't pan out that great, but if you look at it, he had 5-6
Bautista?
good years. Bautista, here's a guy.
Here's a guy.
Fuck him though. That's an exception.
You can't-
The guy hit 54 home runs after being traded. The previous high was 16. I mean, that's absurd. But their front office just finds a way to fucking suck. And
Remember
it's a
Alex
shame.
Rios?
Yes, I do. He failed his physical. I was pumped when we got Rios.
I remember. That was so funny.
Just to jump back to Marvin Lewis for a second. Another reason why he sucks is in the modern era of football, he owns 3 ties.
I agree.
Now, granted, that's going to happen when you coach, I don't know, what,
The Bengals.
however long it was,
The
03
worst
to
front
18.
office guy ever in the history of all sports is Billy King.
Phil Jackson.
No, Billy King. Billy King traded for 2 past their prime stars and gave up a decade of the Nets' future to do it.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, he
also was terrible for the Sixers.
What's going on over there?
Mike did come in a pretty bad move for the Saints too, trading the entire draft for Ricky Williams though.
Hey, I mean,
Ricky
to be
Williams,
fair,
Ricky Williams would have been one of the best running backs of all time if he could stay off the weed.
God damn it! I was this close to starting to say that.
Oh, it's too bad.
Anybody see that 420 video I posted?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, whoa.
Sorry, Dad. Billy King might be the worst of all time, though. I mean, that guy fucked the Nets for a very long time.
Is he still there?
No. Not even close.
I don't know. Bob Nutting keeps nutting all over our chances.
It's true. Oh, now.
Ruben Amaro Jr.
So-
was pretty bad.
Mass is like huffing snus over here. Like, it's just going to be gross. I don't know. Let me try it.
I've never done this before.
You're going to want to stick it right
Oh,
in the tip
wow.
of your penis.
Ha! So you're gonna throw up?
It's snus. He's not going to throw
I
up.
know.
He actually, he dipped one time.
Have I?
Yeah. Remember when we were our
No.
senior year of college? Yeah, you were. It was like we stayed up. I was playing Madden and you were playing I don't know some game all night long. You're like,
All the way
"All right,
around.
I'll try the Grizzly at like 3 a.m. No sleep, no food. Puts it in. He goes, I'm gonna throw up. I was like, you should take it out. He goes, okay.
I'll try the
Yeah.
Grizzly.
Bob Nutting. How are you employed?
There's so many people I wonder that about. There's just so many people. But what if we flip the switch though? What about
Oh.
great head coaches?
Whoa, real quick.
Oh, okay.
I left out a key piece. James Dolan. That guy doesn't deserve the Knicks. You know why? The Knicks have a really loyal fan base.
Who's the head coach of the Knicks right now?
Dave Fisdale.
Is that like weird looking?
Damian Mizdow.
He looks like a dollar store version of Common. He's got like that little like spray on beard with the glasses.
Yeah, I know
My
exactly.
motto is
listen. I think
Chicago,
Fizdale.
bitch.
Seriously, I don't think Fizdale will ever get success with the Knicks, but I think he's the guy that they need right now to build the young kids, and then they could just fire him and get like Amari Stoudemire to coach for a couple years and fuck the franchise over, something like that. Maybe Kenyon Martin could come in, and I love Kenyon Martin.
Marbury.
Ooh. Yikes.
Everyone has
Nope.
to wear Marbury's.
Marcus Camby.
Yep.
Get some grit going on.
Everybody
in there
gets face
now.
tattoos.
Oh, now.
I'm all about it.
Ron Baker comes back.
You want to do best head coaches or worst like celebrity fans of sports franchises?
Drake, done.
Yeah, Drake. There's
We're
no one
celebrity
worse.
fans.
Drake is the curse.
There's no one worse than Drake except for the Kardashians. I still hate Drake more.
Drake is a curse.
And he just picks like different teams every year.
Whoever's
That's why
winning.
he's the
That's
curse.
what
So
annoys me.
has no one beaten the Drake curse since it's been going on?
I'm sure somebody's beating it, but
I-
he has
I don't
more
know.
losses than he does wins.
individual
I don't
games.
know. He's
maybe?
I've never seen any pictures of him wearing any Knicks stuff, and they suck.
Maybe that's what it comes down to. The
If he
second-
puts on a Knick uniform, you guys go 82-0.
and then they shoot him.
There you go.
I mean, they shoot a video of him dancing,
Dying.
dead. What?
I'll just
Mark,
go.
who's the worst Who's the worst Yankees fan? Celebrity Yankees fan.
Are we talking only celebrities?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon.
What?
Don't
He
think
rooted
he's
for
a
the
Yankees
Mets
fan.
too.
I think one of the best celebrity fans of all time is
Jack Nicholson.
no, both Kevin James and the rapist guy there. I'm a fan of
Oh,
the
Ben
Mets.
Roethlisberger.
No, the fan of the Mets. Spacey.
Oh,
The video of him moving the Kevin Spacey face to be his face is one of the greatest things of all time.
That should get him exonerated. It's a shame. It really is a shame.
Billy Crystal might be the best celebrity Yankee fan.
I'm going to disagree, as Billy Crystal is awful.
I know the
First of all,
worst
that guy is
celebrity
Mike
fan.
Wazowski. You
That
watch your
guy.
fucking mouth.
That guy
is that
was
really?
calling a
Yeah.
Clippers game one night,
Listen,
watching with Paul, and all of a sudden we hear Billy Crystal. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Did you know
He's a big
did you know that
fan.
Billy Crystal made a basketball movie?
What's it called?
You know,
Love Paris.
we talked about
He's
this. I've
an,
never
he's
seen
an
it.
NBA head coach who like called like a no foul on Charles Barkley in the beginning of the game, and Charles Barkley like starts yelling at him, and then like it's like a romantic comedy type of thing. But like there's one scene where he like
bangs
goes.
Charles Barkley.
There's one scene where he like is coaching or like reffing a game, and like Muggsy Bogues comes up to him to contest a call, and they're like joking around, and he goes, "I like you, Muggsy. You're the only one I can see eye to eye with." And I was like, "Good for you."
So
Billy Crystal.
I remember a few years back, I think it was like his 60th birthday. I forget if he made a donation of whatever charity, but the Yankees let him like play in a spring
He
training
got a
game.
hit, right? Or fouled it off?
I think he hit a foul, then he struck out.
You know a guy who I respect as a fan?
Spike
like for
Lee?
his loyalty? But he's really fucking
Spike
annoying.
Lee is probably the most famous celebrity. I mean, like
Yeah.
for being a fan of a team.
But he also cursed them by going after Reggie Miller.
Mm.
There's a whole fucking
Curtains
30 for
yourselves.
30 on it. You guys couldn't win with Iverson.
I think
We played the Lakers.
any professional athlete who is like a really big open fan about another sports team that's not in the city they play for is kind of like bullshit. I hate that.
What
I
if
really
it's for a
just hate
different
it.
sport?
Like Steph
Like-
Curry being a huge Panthers fan. Like I
Yeah.
get it, he's from North Carolina, but it's just like stay in your lane. Go over there.
So,
but-
if you,
yeah.
if,
What about
if you
LeBron
were-
liking whatever team's going to get him more
Yeah.
ESPN airtime?
My name is LeBron James. I go wherever people are winning, but I'm a Cowboys fan as well.
So Mike Trout.
Don't fucking talk shit about the GOAT.
Mike Trout's like they show him at Phillies games. Mike Trout's not like all over the place. Like you don't see videos of him on ESPN throwing like trying to throw touchdown passes to Alshon Jeffrey in warm ups. And she's like Steph Curry's out there like, oh, I'm gonna show video of me handing the ball off to McCaffrey. It's like, go fuck yourself.
He's out there, hitting the drum and all that.
What about Snoop
Keep
Dogg?
pounding.
Snoop Dogg? No, he's a Lakers.
I mean, Bryce Harper did that.
Snoop Dogg wears. So he's a Lakers fan, but he wears
No.
jerseys for every NFL team there
The
is.
Sixers.
He's a
Harper.
Steelers.
That's a rapper thing, though. That
Is it?
yeah, it's like being like, oh, what about any rapper? Well, they have to.
He's a Steelers fan.
They don't do it. Are they rappers? No, they're country music artists.
Like-
They don't.
Snoop Dogg been on NFL Network talking about the Steelers.
Wiz
remember-
Khalifa,
Big Steelers fan.
How
Lil
about-
Wayne.
big Packers fan.
Boo.
Us and Kutcher's a big, and Mila Kunis are both big Bears fans, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
One of them's
I'm a
hot.
big them fan. CM Punk's a big Blackhawks fan.
Is he?
Terrible
all,
MMA
all
fighter.
things Chicago. Yeah, very bad fighter.
Hmm?
He's a very bad fighter.
Oh
Actually, I'm pretty sure UFC terminated him. He'll be on Bellator.
There was talks a couple, I'll say years back now, that of Jerry Seinfeld buying the Mets. I almost wish that happened.
They talked about Bon Jovi buying the Titans too, didn't they?
We're
Or
gonna
the
go back
Bills,
to
one
the
of the two.
Cowboys for
I
a
think
minute.
so.
Someone
I mean-
brought up the Cowboys. Greg Hardy is 4-1 in the UFC.
yeah. Is it?
Yep.
Wow.
He's actually got
Is he in the UFC?
Yeah. So he almost.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
He was
that.
the co-main event.
Yeah, but what about
Which is
Matthew?
bullshit.
What about Matthew McConaughey as a
But-
University of Texas fan?
He could do whatever he wants. as long as he pulls up in that Lincoln.
Souls, you want to give us a McConaughey right now?
Hey.
That's believable, though.
Yeah.
He just got done
All
from...
right, all right, all
McConaughey
right.
just got done, he did like a 5-mile run, sees a girl.
Ooh, Kevin Hart's a shitty fan.
Yep.
He's a Patriots fan, but he's from Philly and reps Philly.
He's also a Clippers fan.
Yeah, fuck him.
He's an Eagles fan.
Did I switch him up? No, he rooted for the Patriots.
I don't know. I'm not saying you're wrong because I could be, but I'm pretty sure he's a big Eagles fan.
Call him up, Ken.
No, you know what happened? He's an Eagles fan, but then he was spotted somewhere wearing a Brady jersey, doing something or other. So you're right. He's a bad fan.
Because
You
I
can't do that.
He was the one when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, he ended up on the NFL Network all drunk.
Danny
Security's trying to keep him out. Danny Trejo? Elaborate.
He's a huge Rams fan, and I love it.
Oh, really?
I don't hate the Rams anymore.
I thought he did.
I suddenly like the Rams a lot more.
I picture him to be much more of a Raiders fan.
He's at every Rams home game. It's great.
His shoulder pads, the face paint.
I'm not upset about the loss anymore. I can handle losing to Trejo.
Someone's going to give us a Trejo imitation?
Hey. That
Spot
was
on.
Very close to the same thing as McConaughey.
I think that was the joke.
I mean, Ben Affleck's a huge Red Sox fan. Like,
Yeah.
fuck
Is
him, but
Who
he's a
cares?
pretty big
Oh,
diehard fan.
if we're gonna talk about big Boston fans, who sucks Tom Brady's dick all the time? What's his face?
Oh, Kendall.
Literally all the
Big
time.
Every
I hate
single
Tom
day.
Brady, but I want to be his kid so bad.
Mark Wahlberg.
Ugh, see, I wish he didn't say that.
Cringe.
I ate at Wahlburgers. It was average.
It was average.
I love the shit that he was a criminal back when he was a teenager, and everybody forgets
Or
about
that he put out an American
He was
top
like
40 hit.
super racist.
Well, hold on. If we're talking about great sports fan, what about Barack Obama?
He's a huge Bulls fan.
He's a huge Chicago
He
fan.
was mediocre at everything. Political twist.
Oh,
I thought the roof was going to cave in for a second.
I hear Peter. No, but I mean, in terms of sports fan, though, I mean, he's when he was in office,
Good sports fan.
Yeah, he was always like at Bulls like practices, scrimmaging with the guys, and he's thrown out a lot of first pitches at White Sox games. He's been a lot of Bears games.
Imagine that. You give him a real hard foul.
He's just okay.
Just break his nose.
He gets by.
Take that, Prez.
God, give us some Obama.
Let this be clear.
That wasn't half bad. I want more.
That was pretty good.
If you just said the same line again, we'd be just as happy.
Threw him on the
I
spot.
saw he did the hand
Yeah.
thing.
Threw him on the spot. He delivered.
That was incredible. Kyle, we got to record you doing Obama and Trump
Oh,
talking.
about her, Mia Khalifa,
Huge Capitals fan.
and Wizards fan,
Yes.
and Dick fan.
She does like penis.
She's good.
Paul Rudd is a good city fan. I love Paul Rudd.
I'm sorry, who are we talking about?
Paul Rudd's a Chiefs fan.
He's also a
Oh,
Royals
that's right.
fan.
He is a Chiefs fan.
He's also a Royals fan. He's from Kansas City. God, who likes them?
Well, I remember he did the presentation at the NFL awards this
Oh,
year.
I forgot my other choice of excellence. Fucking Wendy's, man.
Why?
Spicy nuggets.
Oh, they're back.
Yeah, I saw it.
They got 2
Hell
million
yeah.
retweets
I
or
don't
something.
give a fuck what they got.
I
Well,
gotta go.
that's why they're coming back.
I don't give a shit why they're coming back. I don't care if someone sucked a dick in a back alley for them. Spicy nuggets.
Are back.
Dicks.
Well, the Cardinal from today.
Cool.
Bringing it back to sports. Souls, that's where I love you.
Doo-doo-doo.
We bridge the gap between.
So
dick
I
sucking and
I
sports.
admittedly Googled a list of best celebrity sports fans. They have Giselle.
Was that Rivers Kumo?
They have Giselle
Fuck
listed.
Giselle, go to Rivers Kumo.
They have Giselle as a New England Patriots fan. Could you imagine if she was a fan of another team and just said "fuck you"?
Was she really a Patriots fan?
She doesn't even know how football.
She is
I
now.
don't know.
But that's what I mean. Like that's
But
not.
why put her on the list? That's more so my question.
Getting back to Rivers Cuomo. was
Milwaukee-
he in
He's
that
a fan of the
DOD
LA
song?
Galaxy. There
Milwaukee
you go.
took a 3-1 lead. Announce that. It's news. Hold on, no. Back to Rivers Kumo.
LA Galaxy.
Here
Oh,
we
man,
go,
that's-
Galaxy.
I know. That's why I didn't touch on him.
He sucks.
You know,
Myers, Toronto Maple Leafs.
One
Mike
more
Myers.
Jack Nicholson.
Great.
Jerry Seinfeld, New York Mets.
Souls,
That's
give
it.
us a Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld, come on.
This is gonna be terrible. I
What's the
can't
matter?
wait. You know what? I'm impressed.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone are both Broncos fans.
Oh yeah, Bill Murray, the Cubs.
Yep. Forgot about that.
Cubbies.
We gotta get Kyle doing more impressions.
He's good at them.
Oh, Bill Murray. That's a tough one.
Ew, Macklemore is a Seahawks fan?
There's something strange.
Well, it'd be funny that he'd be a fan of Seahawks and nobody's a fan of him.
True.
Sucks.
Except Kendall, he loves him.
Kyle, can you give us some Shaq?
No.
You just gotta get real deep.
That's hysterical.
Tracy Morgan goes to all the Knicks games. So does Michael Rappaport. We forgot about Michael.
Michael Rappaport might be the funniest sports
Oh.
fan.
God, he's such a dick. I love
His
it.
interviews in the Big Three are absolutely hilarious. Sure, we're dying off on this.
Paul, just slap your headphones on real quick.
Okay.
What is this? Why is this happening? Why is this happening?
Biggest Galaxy fan in the room.
Is this going to play us out to break?
No, this is just the chorus that we're done.
Is this gonna play with the? God, I hope not.
I knew what song it was before I put the headphones on.
So,
Cut the shit.
All right, it's enough.
So I wanted to announce this. I kind of hyped up the Big Three things a lot going on. So they had the draft recently. So I wanted to read off the first rounders: Royce White, Chris Johnson, not the running back. Larry Sanders, Josh Powell, Will McDonald, Yakuba Dewara, Greg Oden, Patrick O'Brien, Sean Williams, and Jamario Moon.
Jamario Moon.
So what was this for?
The Big Three.
So how long till Greg Oden goes down for the season?
Breaking news, Greg Oden down for the season.
But so listen to this though. The new teams that they introduced. So the Aliens was one of the new teams. Andre Owens, captain. Co-captains, Shannon Brown and Kendrick Perkins. With reserves, Greg Oden, Brandon Rush, and Robert Vaden. Coach, Nate Archibald. Other new team. Oh, Jeff. I think you're going to be a big fan of the Enemies. Rick Mahorn, head coach. Reserves, Frank Robinson, Royce White, and Craig Smith.
All right.
Co-captains, Lamar Odom and Perry Jones III.
Ooh, that's a lot of coke.
Captain, Agent Zero.
Still a lot of coke.
That's Scarface. That's the movie Scarface on that team. That's what it's just black. That's what it is. Where's the other new teams here? The triplets. Joe Johnson, captain. Big Al Jefferson. Oh wait, no, the triplets were a team, right? Big Al Jefferson.
Whatever team. Oh, Big Al Jefferson. Where's Al Harrington?
He's still on
the
Oh,
team
yeah.
I
So
like.
the triplets is Joe Johnson, Al Jefferson, Gennaro Pargo, Chris Johnson, Alan Anderson, and Sergio Gibson, with Lisa Leslie as their head coach.
Boo.
And then the Bivouac. This is also a big fan of Jeff. Reggie Theus is the coach. Their reserves are Dion Glover, C.J. Leslie, and Sean Williams, with co-captains Anthony Clay Morrow, Will Bynum, and Captain Josh Smith.
Oh, yeah, that team is going to have drug issues.
I just can't believe Brian Scalabrini's still playing.
That's Michael Rappaport. They're the same person.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Anybody have anything to add to that?
Not to that, but apparently the Yankees just banned Keith Smith's version of "God Bless America." And
Oh yeah, because
That's kind of been spreading around.
it's so stupid. Oh, because she were saying other songs with like racial shit in them back in the day, so people are banning it because she's a racist. Well,
That is.
yeah, but that's like this is like
hilarious.
the least thing that's happened because of shit like that. I mean, there's been all kinds of other shit that like history thing. I mean, the entire South like took down like war paintings because they had Confederate things in them.
Quick breaking news. The Bruins have advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Well, there goes that.
no more wild cards.
And the Celtics are going to win the title, so they're going to win everything.
And Corey Maggette is still the captain of the Power.
Could you imagine, though, if they really did?
Who?
If the Celtics and Bruins won?
Has there ever been a
be
city that had the four major
No,
I don't
sports ones?
think so, no.
What's the closest?
I think the Celtics are a long shot, though.
I mean,
Is it two?
I'm sure there's plenty of doubles, but I don't know if there's even a triple.
Actually, Boston is the only like city I'm pretty sure that's come like close to doing it.
And they do it again and again.
Did the Bruins and the Patriots win the same year?
No, I was watching this thing somewhat recently. Like they wanted to rename, Boston as the city of champions. It was something in like 2000.
People born since 2000 that are
Four.
Boston fans have seen more championships than like Kyle's seen tits.
I answered my own question. One city has won 3, but it was back in 1935. Would anybody care to guess the city?
Los Angeles.
19 what?
1935, before the NBA was formed.
Detroit.
Anybody else?
Los Angeles.
New York.
That'd be some weird fucking city.
Minnesota.
Nah, like weirder, like a city that doesn't have any teams now.
It's a team that
Oklahoma
has, or
City.
it's a city that has teams
Wichita.
now. I'll give you that.
Seattle.
Buffalo.
Toronto.
Is it an American city?
Yes.
Georgia. Wait, that's a state.
Give that man a shot.
No, I bet you there's
please.
a town named Georgia somewhere.
Georgia.
Not that has a team
Oh,
right
my
now.
mind.
All right,
What do you got?
what is it?
Mark
Kendall,
is so impatient.
You do win. It was Detroit.
It's Detroit.
Get up.
You didn't know that,
Everybody's
I
gotta
did.
Leave their
Oh,
seats.
really?
Get
I didn't
down.
know that.
did you?
No.
I did.
How'd you know?
God, wake up.
He looked it up.
No.
All right. What were the 3 teams that won?
Okay. It was the Red Wings.
Nope. Red Wings.
It was the Red Wings. It was the Red Wings. It was
The Tigers.
It was the Lions. And it was the Riverbats.
It was not. So you did not know this. It was the Tigers.
I didn't know. I didn't know. I'm a liar.
Tigers are one of the teams that have been around forever.
Yeah, I would have said the Tigers before I would have said the Lions. I would have made up a bullshit team
You
for
know
the
how
Lions.
you know that? You gotta go on the show and check out the old uniforms and see who still has team name. Real quick though, the Reds, you know, since some of us don't like their uniforms,
Oh,
did
yeah,
you see their throwbacks?
I did see the throwbacks.
Yeah, pretty good looking.
Yeah.
If you like shitty uniforms.
I like.
Speaking of-
I like the collared shirt.
Speaking of throwbacks, did we ever talk about the fact that the Chargers are going back to their powder blues?
Yes,
for the
you brought it
season
up.
next year?
Yeah, that was your toast excellence. Like
Was it? All right.
last week or the week
Speaking
before.
of throwbacks, have we talked about how like the Rams wear half of throwbacks every week?
Have we talked about how their uniforms suck?
No, they don't suck. They just look like an incompleted package. on,
well-
like,
That
Madden
sucks!
Ultimate
tell
Team.
tell
Terrible.
that to Danny Trejo, the guy that played a cartel leader in Sons of Anarchy.
The biggest Rams fan ever.
He also played Johnny 23 in Con Air.
He also played Johnny Sins in Never Mind.
He's also the uncle in Spy Kids.
That's
God
true.
damn it! That's right.
Completely forgot about that.
I'm pretty sure he voices somebody in the Dora movie too. That's Dora.
I've never wanted, like, if I could have anyone stab me, I want it to be Trejo. I want to just stab me.
I would love to see like Trejo and DeVito in like some competition.
And
I don't
a buddy
care what
buddy
it is.
comedy, like a
No,
buddy cop.
It doesn't have to be that. Like you can just butter each other's stomachs up and run at each other. Like I don't care what it is. I just want to see the two of them go at something. With that, we'll go to break. When we come back, Mock has a more likely segment. Mock's more likely magicians mix up. When we come back live on the PPRN Radio Network.
Let this be clear.
Hold on now.
And now, back to getting sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network.
Hey.
Smoke weed every day.
You know what's hilarious? Didn't hear what the cues were supposed to be.
Welcome back.
I feel like that actually sounded all right.
All right, Kyle, give us your best Nate Dogg.
I don't got one for him.
All right, moving on.
Oh, come on, so you were doing so well.
Can you give us something?
You're asking me to do a singer, dude.
I want Trump Nixon right now.
Kyle, I called you an average R&B singer in the car the other day.
Why don't you listen here? Okay.
What are you, Nicolas Cage?
Where's the declaration?
You guys, like, everyone likes to go straight to the National Treasure, but Con Air Nick Cage might be the best. The worst is Ghost Rider Nick Cage.
I don't know. Did you see him in Bangkok Dangerous?
I didn't even know that was a movie.
Exactly.
So I know what I'm doing tonight.
That
Sleeping.
that and, all right. So
Kyle, I
Max.
posted that 3 years ago.
Kyle, I'd like to get a serious review from you on that. I think you'll like it a lot.
I'm very excited for it.
Let's just be
all right,
clear.
So we're back. We, I believe, Machcine washable, everyone's favorite household appliance, everyone's biggest fan of Kevin Nash,
Oh,
everyone's
come on.
least fan of Achy Breaky Heart,
Why are you doing this to me?
and the woo-woo hater of them all. All those things I said were opposite.
can I ask a quick question
But a
before we
true
start?
one is that he hates Spider-Man.
Oh, come on.
Mock, did you bring this?
No, that's a private step.
Is that the Poland Springs gin bottle?
Yeah, it's,
Oh,
I
now?
just noticed that it's a really shitty.
That's
knockoff
that's
of
the
Poland.
spring water runoff.
All right.
You ever drink?
That's what's in the Connecticut River.
The boys call it muddy water.
It's in the Connecticut River.
When he said that, I just thought of the film. Muddy, you okay? I'm passing a kidney stone. Shout out to Dave Sanderson. Anyway, so Machcine Washable had a segment prepared.
Yes.
Oh, Mass, good background.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Yes.
Is
So
it Johnny Sins?
No, it's that's fucking illegal. No.
So what I have, and we'll probably be able to come up with more as we go, but I came up with some like what's more likely to happen things. Some are within the same sport, and some are two different sports, or so on. So the first one I have is that the Cleveland Browns win the AFC North this year, or the Tampa Bay Rays win the AL East.
Cleveland Browns are more likely.
Agreed.
Kyle, I'd like your unbiased opinion.
Tampa Bay Rays win the division.
let me start that over again. Kyle, I would like your unbiased opinion.
Tampa Bay Rays win the division.
Not
I
happening.
would agree
may
with
I talk
Kyle.
about why?
All right. So since you seem unbiased, let's hear your reasoning behind this.
Well, I am slightly biased, but perhaps
All right.
less
moving on.
biased.
No,
than-
I'm being completely
Well,
serious.
I am too, and I think that pitching staff for Tampa Bay is not a joke.
No.
And I think that that they can win games down the stretch, and I think that hitting will come. I feel
And they have one of the best managers in baseball right now.
right, and I just feel like there's a lot of hype with Cleveland right now,
Is the
and I think
abbreviation for Missouri MO?
yes,
Right.
and it's a good football team. I think they're going to make a lot of great strides, but Baltimore can turn it around, and Pittsburgh can deliver. I don't think there's any question that Pittsburgh is not going to be a 2-14 team.
I
People
think that-
want to write them to be, but they're not going to be.
I think Baltimore is going to fall apart in Lamar Jackson's second year.
Nothing to do with anything we're talking about.
I'm
Did
just
you
gonna.
just say Baltimore?
Well, he was just making a point.
I was just saying that I think between Pittsburgh and Baltimore, they are formidable versus a Cleveland team, a young Cleveland team.
Paul,
I
what do you
just
think?
I'm sorry. I just think that Tampa Bay has the better pitching than anybody in the division.
It's too early.
Browns. The only reason I say the Browns is I agree that I think Tampa Bay has the
I
talent,
agree.
but the Yankees aren't going to be hurt all season, and the Red Sox are going to figure
You
it
don't
out.
know that.
That's what I'm saying. Here's the thing with the Rays. Blake Snell's great, and he proved that he can stay great. Outside of that, a lot of question marks. There's guys that are off to hot starts, sure. But how many times have we seen guys go into the All-Star break looking like, Cy Young candidates and then fall? Same with the bats. And right now, there's not really that.
To
there's
me,
no
the
standout.
to me, the
offensive
Rays are
side.
not a team that's built to last the whole season. I think
Yeah.
they'll be a team that gets real hot, then they'll get cold, then they'll get
But
real
how are you
hot.
going to say
then
that, though? They won almost 85, 86 games last year.
They won 90 games last year. They won 91 games last
It-
year.
But
They,
look-
they did,
192.
but that was third place.
and you got to understand, it's
and
a-
now the Reds, they're better than the Red Sox.
It's a month.
No. Their
No,
bullpen's
it's a
better than the
month.
Red Sox, and their pitching's better than the Red Sox.
Again, it's a month.
And their hitting improved from
But
last
who's
year.
been to the World Series? The Rays or the Red Sox?
Both.
Who's won the World Series?
Red Sox. But
Okay.
not saying anything.
It's saying a lot.
I'm saying.
They're consistently.
Okay, but you're also saying a team that's never been to the playoffs in the last 12 years.
Okay. But
So
you're,
how you gonna?
answer this question then? How have the teams that have made it to the playoffs done in the last few years? Not good.
Not true.
That's very
It's
true.
usually the same teams in the playoffs.
But they don't. You're missing the mark here.
No, I'm not.
When's the last time the Steelers won a Super Bowl?
Okay. so
Or
it's
anyone
not.
from that division? 2009. That's 10 years ago. How about
Okay.
the Red Sox or Yankees?
Well,
Just
Red
those
Sox
are
won
the
last
two.
year. Yankees haven't won since 2009.
But when is the Red Sox? Okay, so 2009,
The
the
Red,
Yankees
the Red Sox have
and the
two.
Steelers.
Okay, but
the
my
Red
point
Sox
is,
have
but-
two in that.
Okay, I
they're-
get that.
Okay, so what?
And the Ravens have also won a Super Bowl since 2009.
But
So you
my
got
point
2-1.
is that right now, unless the Red Sox make a drastic change,
They don't need to make a change. It's
They
been
do.
a month. It's
They
been
have no
a
bullpen.
month.
and it's going to continue to
It's a
struggle.
month.
They have no closer.
It's a month.
Sale looks really burnt out.
Yeah, but he got his first win, so
It's
that might
a
turn it around.
month of baseball.
David Price is
I do
overrated.
agree. I do agree. Price did. I do agree that the
Damn it,
Red
another
Sox.
pitcher goes down on my team.
I do agree that the Red Sox need to add bullpen pieces, but I think that they will do that.
That's the easiest piece to add.
I
There's
think
free
they should
agents
do
now. There's trade. There's waivers.
What up, Boo?
Tuning in.
It's 1 month into the season.
And the Rays have a better team.
But I'm
and
just
they will
saying
have a better team. But they can
will
also
not.
go add pieces.
Any team could add pieces.
Okay, but you're saying the Red Sox is a month in the season, but I think the Rays
I'm
stay where they
saying
are.
statistically, the Red Sox have won 2 World Series.
Right. And
The Rays have not.
After you win a World Series, the team kind of does not do well the next year.
So J-Mart, I'm curious about your argument. Now, is it more so leaning on the Red Sox and Yankees being able to turn it around, or more so that you think that the Browns actually have a super chance of winning that division?
So that division is up for grabs. That's my opinion. I think if you look at it from both sports, those divisions are up for grabs. They're highly competitive, but in 2 different ways. I think the AL East is competitive in the fact that you have 3 teams that could have the best record in the AL. It's, like we just said, 90 wins and 3rd place. That happened with the Rays. Where you have the Steelers, and this isn't a personal knock at all. They're clearly missing what they used to have. Okay, you just lost Brown. You lost, Bell. Who knows what the fuck's going on. There's a big what's going on in Pittsburgh.
Well, I guess I
as
would
well
counter,
as the rest of the division.
I will agree that you lose 2 stars, but I think that division was fairly weak last
They
year.
lost 1 player.
Well, I'm just summing the Bell Brown thing just as one collective.
They did lose 2, Kyle. Bell didn't
So-
play last year, but they didn't make the playoffs last year, so they're still missing Bell.
But I feel the North was a fairly weak division
But
last
that's
year.
my point. They're all kind of weak.
I think
There's
another
no
thing, too,
standout team.
It's not just again. I don't want this to be construed as shitting on the Steelers right now. That's not what the
No,
point
not
is.
at all. Not at all.
But the thing too is something that the Rays don't have to face in baseball, which is it's a disadvantage for them compared to the Browns, is that the Browns got better as a whole team. Yes, they might have lost some defensive pieces, but as a unit, an overall unit, they got better.
Yes.
And they're still playing a 3rd place schedule. They're still going to go out and play the Broncos. They're still going out and they're playing the Bills.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
They're playing the Bills, and then they're playing the Titans. Right?
Week 1.
Yes.
Yeah. They play the Titans. And I don't know who's the AFC North play for NFC this year.
We play the NFC West.
Yeah.
And then so they play the Cardinals. They play, in terms of strength of difficulty for that, it's the same for all the teams. And every game in that division is an up for grabs game. It always kind of has been.
Yeah.
The Steelers really, in a long time, the Steelers, Ravens, and Bengals really haven't had both games be walk-off games against the Browns for a long time. All those teams in that division fight hard against each other, much
Right.
like in the NFC North. I mean, so I just think in terms of schedule-wise, I mean, that's not something that the Rays really are gonna. They're still going to be playing the Red Sox and the Yankees a lot, and they're still going to be playing all the other American League teams the same way they would every year, regardless of who's good and who's not. It doesn't matter who's hot in the AL North or AL Central for that month. They got to play them. It's not like we get a bye on those guys. We don't have to worry about them. So I just think that that is a big key in it, and it goes that goes to the Browns' advantage in having a more likely chance at winning their division.
So I'll move on to the next one. We briefly talked about it. What's more likely? The Steelers win the Super Bowl this year, or the Titans make the playoffs?
Steelers won the Super Bowl.
Because that's the one I think.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I agree.
I just can't see the Titans doing anything to get close to the Colts this year. They just keep getting better. I think the Texans still actually have a good team. I don't think Deshaun Watson takes a step back. I actually think he continues to play at a high level. Who knows what the Jaguars are going to do this year? They're kind of
Hey,
a
they're in
mystery
for
team.
7 good games. We'll see what the rest is.
Wherever they decide to win those games
Exactly.
for grabs.
But this
What's
is
going to happen is Nick Foles is going to play his best football when the Jaguars defense plays shutout defense.
yeah.
So they're gonna win 7 or
50.
8 games like 42-0,
Yeah.
and then lose the rest of them 35-3.
Their points like 4 are going to be insane.
No, they're gonna end up like net. This is what they're gonna end up net.
I mean,
I think the Steelers winning the Super Bowl.
I mean, it's not a bad question mark. It's just it's you know.
It's an easy one.
Well, it's just.
Well,
the
you know what it
Titans
is?
would really have to impress, I guess.
When I was making these, like this one, I originally made way too easy. Where I
But the thing
originally
was,
had Patriots there. I
but
was
it-
like, meh.
But it depends. It depends too. Like, how early do we see Tannehill, and what kind of Tannehill do we see? I mean, like Tannehill didn't play terrible football his entire career in the Dolphins. He's not a good. He's not an above average quarterback. He's an average quarterback. But
Thank you.
he had times in Miami where he looked like he could be above average.
He won games for them.
Right, and you know he steadily improved every year until he started getting hurt.
Do you guys think that the Titans keep Mariota beyond this year?
It depends.
I think this is his last chance this year.
For me, anything's possible after seeing the Bucks extend Jameis Winston's fifth-year option.
Well, again, that's the Bucks.
Right, but like I mean,
Who's been the better quarterback out of the two of them?
Mariota.
I think Mariota.
I think Jameis.
Mariota's taken his team to the playoffs. Jameis
Statistically,
Winston
Mariota.
has been trash.
He also is a bitch when it comes to playoff time.
You have Josh Freeman jerseys.
Okay.
All right.
That's the
All right,
best.
the next one I have.
That's the nail in the coffin right there.
The next one I have is that Zion will not be the number 1 pick.
That depends.
Or-
oh,
Melo signs with the Warriors.
What's
I think
more
it's
likely?
more likely that Zion's not the number 1 pick. Because I think there's actually a couple teams that would consider not taking Zion. I don't think it's just the Suns. I think if the Bulls won the lottery, I think that there'd be serious consideration in them taking John Morant.
He's
over.
a point guard, remember?
Right, but the Bulls need a point guard desperately.
Point guard.
Point guard. But like, there's a few teams that are in legitimate contention to get the number 1 overall pick that need a point guard. Now, I understand Zion is like this once in a lifetime, blah 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 blah. But at a certain point, you gotta like, the Suns already have their what they think is their franchise player in Devin Booker.
Yeah.
So like, by adding Zion to the mix, yes, you're generating more scoring, but you still have nobody to run the offense or defense. So like, I think John Morant could be the number 1 pick for them. I think the Bulls could be there could be a team that seriously considers John Morant over Zion. Because realistically, you look at it, you look at it from the Bulls standpoint, Levine's starting, Porter's starting, Markkanen's starting. The only 2 question marks at their starters are center and point guard, and Zion's not playing either of those positions. And Levine's not a point guard; he can't play point guard. And Markkanen, you could maybe shift him to center and put Otto Porter at the 4, but that would be ridiculous. That would be absolutely absurd just to have Zion at the 3. So I could see the Bulls take it. You know, I could see maybe 3 teams. I have to look at the lottery odds, but I don't. Melo's not going to sign with the Warriors.
I only put that there
Melo
as
is
the
not going to play in the NBA again.
the ring robber.
The only way I see Melo signing with the Warriors is if they lose KD and Boogie this offseason. They could maybe bring him in as a potential starter. Because Iggy's retiring. And so if Iguodala retires, well, he is retiring, but if KD leaves and Cousins leaves, then, they can do the whole, Curry at the 1, move Clay to the 2, and put Melo at the 3 with Draymond at the 4. Or they can play a small lineup, which they do a lot, with Draymond at the 5 and Melo at the 4. I could see them doing that. But I would go Zion.
Kyle?
Yeah.
All right.
That's what I was going to say.
My next one here. What's more likely? That the Boston Red Sox miss the playoffs this year, or the New York Giants make the playoffs?
What was the first one?
The Red Sox miss the playoffs.
Red Sox missed the playoffs.
What's more likely to happen?
Giants.
Giants.
Red Sox missed the playoffs only because the NFC East is always a shit show.
I would say that the Red Sox missing the playoffs
If
is
somebody
more
told
likely.
me that the Giants won the division at 4-12, I'd believe it. I'd believe it 100%, and I'd believe that all the teams were 4-12 as well. I believe that all the teams were 4-12 with similar divisional records, the same divisional records, and it came down to a coin toss, a 4-way coin toss. They used like a Magic the Gathering dice to determine who.
Roll your D10.
Because Kyle has been kind of edging this. I want to let's do a wager. Red Sox make the playoffs. 5 shots?
Sure.
All right, they're making the playoffs. 5 shots.
So wait, you're saying the Red Sox are going to miss the playoffs this year?
I do.
That's what he's saying.
Someone
After a
write
month.
that down.
After a month.
It's going to be on the recording.
When we
Do you
always
listen
say
back?
that. Yeah, we always say that.
The Rays start off hot every single year.
Even if they don't,
See, I miss the average Rays. They were really bad for a while. Now they're kind of good. When they're average Rays, they just kill the Yankees all the time.
What happens when Blake
But when they're
Snell
good
goes
or
down?
bad, the Yankees
That's all I
destroy
gotta
them.
already
say.
went down. They have a good
What
starting
happens?
five behind him.
They have a decent starting 5. If you're
And
Glasnow,
you get
again, listen.
Honeywell
listen,
coming
listen.
back.
Honeywell's coming back, who's never pitched an inning in the MLB.
Okay.
You talking about the guy that made the fire alarms?
Oh, I like that.
Again,
That's
never
good, eh?
pitched an inning in the MLB, but
That's a
you're
Connecticut
gonna
company.
say
Is it
Honeywell,
really?
I have
Honeywell,
I
yeah.
didn't know that. That's cool.
the guy that already got hurt before pitching in the MLB. If I
I have Daylon coming back.
I don't know what's going on over there.
You know, you have a computer in front of you.
That won't remind me. This will.
He's only on his computer 23 hours, asshole.
My apologies.
All right. What's...
I don't know how to set
Do you
a
have more of
reminder
these,
on
Mark?
this.
I have 2 more. But
I have one right now.
Okay,
Okay.
what do you got?
All right. What's more likely to happen? The Houston Rockets winning the NBA playoffs or the Celtics winning their series against the Bucks?
Celtics.
Rockets.
Where are the Celtics right now? What's the
Celtics are down 3-1 to the Bucks. The Rockets are
Celtics
down
are down
2-1
3-1.
to the Warriors. So they need to beat the Warriors, then get through whoever wins Nuggets, Trailblazers, and then beat whoever comes out of the East.
I'm going to go with the Rockets.
Shit, that's hard.
I just don't see the Celtics winning another game against.
I think that the
Milwaukee.
Celtics had their opportunity early to jump
Not
ahead,
only do they
and
have to
then
win one more game, they have to win 4 more games, don't they?
3.
3 more games.
They had to win 4 more, it'd be over.
True.
This
ahead, Kendall.
is a sports show.
I think the Celtics lost their momentum. So I think it's over for them.
I would say Rockets.
I say Celtics.
Even
Now,
though Harden
I-
just
Tell
got
us
hurt.
why.
I think both of them are extremely improbable.
That's what makes the game fun.
But the Celtics, they proved that they can win in Milwaukee
Don't sleep on the
in
Knicks.
Game 1. If they were able to win in Milwaukee, they would come home in a do-or-die scenario. And then if they won, and then so they'd have the home court advantage in that game, plus the momentum from just, keeping their series alive.
Yeah.
Then it would go to Game 7, and that's kind of, at that point, it'd be up for grabs because the Celtics had just won 2 in a row in do-or-die situations, and then they would have proven that the Bucks don't have home court advantage at home because they would have beaten them 2 out of 3 times. I don't think the Rockets, I don't, like I said, I think both of them are improbable, but for the Rockets, the Rockets have, yes, they technically have a tie series right now in terms of home games left. It'd be 2-2. I don't think they have what it takes to win Game 7 on the road, and I don't. I think that they can beat. I think they can beat either the Trailblazers or the Nuggets, but I don't think they could beat the Bucks. I don't think they could beat the Raptors, and I don't think they could beat the Sixers in 7. I don't think they could beat the Celtics in 7. I don't think the Rockets could beat any of the Eastern Conference teams still left in 7 games. I think they're both extremely improbable, but if I had to pick one, I would pick the Celtics winning their series.
Can I give another very improbable one?
Mm-hmm.
What's more likely to happen? We see another 2-sport athlete, or we see a team win 3 City win 3 championships.
City win 3
Yeah.
championships.
The two-way
two-
athlete thing isn't going to happen
It's
anymore.
dead.
These guys make too much
I mean,
money, and
well, you look at Patrick Mahomes. He was just playing pickup basketball at a
Shut it down.
YMCA, and the Chiefs were just like, if you do that again, we're done.
well, I remember when Mariota was coming out, the Titans wouldn't sign him unless he refused to surf or something. Like he had to give up surfing.
Yeah, it's just too.
It's not going to happen.
There's too much of an insurance policy on these guys now. I just can't. I can't see it happening. I mean, really, the only way I would see it happening would be if you had a very average guy at both sports, where it was like, say a guy came out and he played like predominant special teams, not like even not a returner, like he was a predominant like special teams tackler and maybe like a 5th or 6th string wide receiver, and he played like like utility outfielder for a baseball team, and both teams were just kind of like, nah, if he's done for his career, whatever. Like, big fucking whoop, we're paying him like $1.8 million a year or something like that. But at that point, who cares?
True.
But I mean, that's the only way I see it happening. I would say a team winning 3 championships. I mean, I think we could technically, I think that could happen this year.
Yeah.
I think Boston, I think the Red Sox and the Bruins could both do it.
Another one I had here is Daniel Jones will be the starter of the New York Giants by week 8, or Josh Rosen is the starter of the Dolphins by week 3.
Josh Rosen.
Josh Rosen's going to be the starter for the Dolphins by week 2.
Let's remember, they have Fitzpatrick.
There's a whole preseason.
He's given 4 weeks
No
of
fuck
prime football.
No, I think the leash for Fitzpatrick is significantly shorter in Miami than it was in Tampa Bay, because I don't think Cutter was sold on Winston at all. I never got that impression from his press conferences, from his anything where he talked about Winston. I never got the impression that he was sold on him. And so I think he consistently thought, good or bad, Fitzpatrick gave his team the best opportunity to win games. Whereas with the Dolphins, they're kind of in like a full rebuild, and they're going to want to see what they have in Rosen now. And so if Fitzpatrick does start week 1, I think any slip-ups in the first half warrants a Rosen start in the second half. And he could be starting by week 2.
Well,
and no one's going to hold anything against Rosen in Miami for the same reasons they didn't really hold anything against him in Arizona. What does he have? I mean, I guess he's got a younger receiver, not a better receiver, but I think Fitzgerald's better than Parker still. But Parker's still an established receiver. He's got Parker, and he's got like a slew of rotating running backs. But I mean, I don't think I don't think Daniel Jones starts a game this season unless Eli gets injured or the Giants are mathematically eliminated from it.
Well, do you think, the signing of Fitzpatrick is really as like, oh, this is going to be our starter, just like, hey...
No, because they didn't have Rosen at that point.
The Fitzpatrick signing happened before...
No, but I guess what I'm saying is that, they signed Fitzpatrick and then they traded for Rosen. Was the Fitzpatrick signing just in general, was like, hey, this will be our veteran backup for whoever
the Fitzpatrick signing was, this is the guy that's going to hold us over for 16 games until Tua comes out. And then they were able to get Rosen for the right price. Because they signed Fitzpatrick before they got Rosen. There's no way. They didn't sign Fitzpatrick with we're going to sign him because we're going to get Rosen. Because there was no guarantee they were getting Rosen. There was a lot of reports of the Redskins being interested.
No,
the Giants
I understand that.
I think they signed him with the game of being their 16-game guy until Tua came out. Now he might be that veteran guy, the Josh McCown role with the Jets last year. But when they signed him, I think it was simply just he's going to be a season starter. He's maybe he'll be that veteran guy for Tua. Because I don't know what the deal was. I think it was a multi-year deal though, right? It wasn't a 1-year deal.
Fitzpatrick, I think it was 2 maybe.
But I'm saying, but it was a 1.
Yeah.
So I think it wasn't the intentions of being that veteran leader for Tua, because they weren't guaranteed of getting Rosen. But yeah, no, I don't think there was any thought of we're going to bring him in to be a mentor for Rosen.
See, I wouldn't be surprised to see Rosen sit this year.
I don't think so.
And it's only because, I mean, the Dolphins as a whole are not going to be a great team this year.
I agree.
And well, no, like Rosen took a lot of criticism last. Now, granted, I personally don't think Josh Rosen is that great, but he took a lot of criticism last year from playing poorly on a bad team. So to me, I could see the Dolphins not really throwing him to the wolves yet and kind of letting him grow now.
I think when it's all said and done, I think Josh Rosen will be the second best quarterback out of that draft.
Behind
Watson.
I think
I'll go Deshaun Rosen and then Trubisky. Mahomes is going down.
Was Rosen in that draft?
No.
No,
no,
he was
that was
the year
Baker
after.
Darnold.
Oh, that's the Baker Darnold.
Baker, Darnold, and Josh
I can
Allen.
still see him being second best in that draft.
What do you think it would take for a Fitzpatrick performance to be a Week 1 starter? Like a preseason performance.
A week
I don't think
preseason from anyone else.
I don't.
You think it wouldn't matter? Like, I guess if
I don't-
Rosen really doesn't deliver,
I don't think whatever Rosen does, he starts week 1.
I don't either. I don't think he's the week 1
I
starter.
disagree. I don't. I think at this moment in time, it's a 50-50 up for grabs thing.
So I guess
how I feel as well.
They
So
brought
he-
in Rosen at the right time. I mean,
So
he's
here's-
got all the opportunity. Rosen is reporting for rookie minicamp for them, even though he's not a rookie, but he's a tech, still kind of is really. I mean,
So here's my take on that. I don't think it's a quarterback thing. I don't think the quarterbacks will decide. If the team meshes well together and they look like they can hold an offense together, I think they'll start Rosen week 1. But if it looks like the shit show we all think it's going to be, I don't think Rosen starts.
I agree.
I kind of agree with Riddler. I think it's more of a toss up than we think. Mass, it's a good point that you're bringing up. I feel as though Fitzpatrick is at the twilight of his career. If he really delivers in the preseason, let's say if he goes and has like this ridiculous preseason where he goes out and throws 8 touchdowns, we'll just call it 8 touchdowns. It's unlikely because of how the way
The
it's
NFL
formatted.
record is 7.
I can't believe you know that.
you know that. Nick Foles has that record,
I didn't
tied
know
for
that.
it.
I don't know
Dick.
who he's tied with though.
Breeze.
Breeze, I think it's like 4 or 5 guys that have
there's
done
a
it.
ton.
But the thing is, so here's like a hot take portion for it though. If the Dolphins finish with the worst record in the NFL this year and get the number 1 pick, I would be willing to bet that they cut Fitzpatrick and draft Tua. They do what the Cardinals did.
You think so?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't.
If they end
either.
up with the number
Could you
1
imagine
overall,
they trade Rosen again?
Josh Rosen has been traded to the New England
all
Patriots
Rosen
for a
has to
conditional
do-
7th round pick.
He's just got to work really hard in the preseason.
All right,
Because
so,
no team's going to go in confidence saying, hey, we're going to make the playoffs with Ryan Fitzpatrick. You just have to
I don't know, the Bucs
you have
tried to.
play Ryan Fitzpatrick. And nothing against Fitzpatrick. He has his moments. But, if this kid's as good as he's supposed to be, he should have no problem taking that over. Just a matter of when.
all right. So let me ask you this: what's more likely to happen? This season for the first one, obviously next season for the next one. What do you think is more likely to happen? Bryce Harper winning NL MVP this season, or Russell Wilson winning MVP next season for the NFL?
You're talking about Russell Wilson this coming season, right?
Yeah, this upcoming season. Well, obviously, he can't win it last
I-
season. All right, Russell Wilson, 2025 MVP.
A season removed. I think I'm gonna give it to Bryce Harper having the better chance. I just think that there's always like a chance for like a random player in the NFL for kind of just going on a tear. Whether it's a running back or let's say Mahomes duplicates that season, then I think he'd have a good chance.
That's not happening.
Well, I think it's unlikely, but if he were to duplicate that season, I think he would be.
He's going to be in for a rough couple games without Tyreek Hill to start.
I agree, but
I
it's
agree.
just an example. This guy gets it.
They haven't put him on the the exempt list, have they?
He's going on.
It's coming.
He's going on.
It's coming.
Yeah, there's new audio that got released.
I know. Bitch,
He's
you better be
talking
afraid
to
of
his
me.
wife saying, "I beat the shit out of our son."
But either way,
Just
I mean,
bad looks.
he had these issues before he was drafted, so this isn't really.
But no, I don't want to get into too much of this.
No, I
Tyreek
know.
Hill thing. But what do you
I'll
think-
still take him. with
Russell
fantasy.
Wilson.
What's more likely to happen? Russell Wilson winning MVP or Bryce Harper winning MVP?
Russell Wilson.
I mean, you gotta keep in mind, Russell Wilson was in MVP talks just last year.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
He's in his 2nd year in the
Yeah.
system. I think the offense is transitioned because they lost who they lost. Baldwin?
Well, the
No, he's
speculation of them losing Baldwin, they lost Mike Davis.
Baldwin's kind of like teetering.
So,
I think he plays.
So if they keep Baldwin, I really think that the offense has only evolved, if anything. Again, like Riddler said, he was in MVP conversations last year.
With a really bad offensive
Exactly. And I
He's
think
had that line his whole career. He's always had a bad line.
I really think that this is the year he just steps up his game. They'll make a deep run into the playoffs. I shouldn't say this
I
is
saw
the year
Mock's face.
he steps up his
I,
game.
Mass was saying 2nd year in like this new
The
offensive
new system, I know.
Yeah.
Mock was like, "The
'Cause
fuck you
he
talking
said-
about?"
I was like, what?
Under Schottenheimer.
Anybody else? Did anybody not give a opinion? Solzen, he's been really quiet for some reason. Ever since the Browns thing,
Oh,
he's
he's
not, he's not talked about anything.
He's showing clear signs of fatigue.
Some fatigue.
Come on, so you gotta hold it together for one 3-hour show once.
I'm not drunk. I'm just fucking
No,
tired.
not drunk. Just
That's what I said.
Kai, want to do some private talk with me?
No.
Oh, that's depressing. You're always down for that.
I'll do something with you. I
Yeah.
already yeah.
But
Oh, Jesus
I don't
Christ.
see Bryce winning it this year. I see Bryce winning it next year. I'm gonna go with Russell Wilson. Also, I think you're wrong. I think he takes a step back this year.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
One, they haven't addressed their offensive line.
They haven't addressed.
God, they haven't addressed it in 10
Yeah.
years. And they won a Super Bowl.
Sooner or later, Russell.
They won
They
that.
went to 2.
They won that off the back of their defense, though.
Doesn't have the same defense. They actually have a bottom defense now.
I'm saying their Super Bowl was off.
My personal opinion, I think Russell Wilson benefited from starting at like the opponent's 40, opponent's 30 because of how good that defense was,
Mhm.
and now they don't have that.
Well, I'm sorry. Every quarterback's going to benefit from that.
Wilson unfortunately
last
has.
year the defense wasn't as good as it was when they went to the Super Bowl.
I think they're way worse.
What are you talking about? Do you think the defense is worse, what, this year than it was last year?
Bless you,
What are
J-Mart.
you saying?
Yeah.
The defense is worse.
Than last year.
You think their defense this year is going to be worse than it was last year?
Oh yeah,
But but what I'm saying though is their defense this year
Jesus.
wasn't anything even close to comparable.
no, I get that. I'm saying
And
Okay, can I please finish?
One more.
The defense this year wasn't anything close to comparable to the years they went to the Super Bowl, but Russell Wilson was still an MVP candidate when the season was over.
I agree. I know that.
so
I agree.
I'm saying that Russell Wilson cannot shoot out games.
he's done it almost his
You're right.
entire career.
But I guarantee that Baldwin doesn't play. I think his neck injury is way worse than
But
everyone
then, but
thinks.
I don't think Baldwin matters.
I think
They
it
got
matters.
I
DK
disagree.
Metcalf,
I don't,
baby.
I really honestly
Baldwin
don't.
didn't play much last
Baldwin
year.
has been his safety valve.
I understand that. Baldwin has always been the receiver for Russell Wilson's career that like recognizes better than anybody else if there's a broken up play behind the line of scrimmage and he gets open. I understand that. But
No run
if there-
game.
But if there's any team that's better at finding a player off the fucking streets than the New England Patriots, it's the Seattle
Yes.
Seahawks.
DK.
Every single year, this receiver is leading the Seattle Seahawks in receptions, and he was undrafted. Not to mention the teammate of his that's leading the team in touchdowns, and he was undrafted. Every fucking year,
Yeah.
there's
Guys.
two receivers on the team making a fucking impact in the NFL, lighting up fantasy teams for people that wasn't drafted.
I mean, stock rooms at Whole Foods are like, hey, I can play for the Seahawks.
Yo, they have the next Rob Gronkowski though. DK
Rod
Metcalf.
Gronkowski?
DK. That
Oh.
dude's as big as fucking, Justin Tuck.
Can't run her out.
Doesn't matter, dude.
That matters.
He can. though.
Here's my thing that I have against you saying you can't run a route. How many snaps in the NFL has he played?
My thing though,
Zero, but in college,
but I
Oh,
think
if-
he's a
if he
perfect
runs
fit.
straight,
But
he'll
I
be
think
fine.
he's a perfect fit for the Seahawks
Me
because
too.
even if he's not even an above average route runner, if they just send him down the field, Russell Wilson has the cannon to get it to him, and he's going to outmuscle a lot of defensive backs
I was
to get
just
the
gonna say,
to at least make it an incomplete pass.
is Rob Gronkowski
But
an elite route
What
runner?
I'm saying is like
No!
even
he's a good
if
route runner.
even
He's
if
not.
I thought he was a very good route runner.
he wasn't.
He was.
He wasn't.
Okay, then tell me why.
he
Kyle,
wasn't
You're
a-
gonna call
he
him
wasn't
an elite
route runner.
route
Short
runner?
and
I said elite, I
intermediate
said
routes,
good.
he was pretty
He
good.
was an average route runner. All of Rob Gronkowski's most lethal plays were in routes,
Yes.
5 yards up the field, and seam routes.
He knew
That's
how to
not
play the
route
position adequately, and he's
So
a
when
big
he was
body.
wide open down the field,
Let me
On
just
a
tell
seam
you this.
pass.
I'm gonna
On a seam.
Why
send
can't
you
nobody get him?
to a DK
On a seam, though.
highlight reel tape. You
Because
can
he's,
watch
'cause he's
his route
faster
running.
than
Then
linebackers.
get back to me.
Rob Gronkowski benefited. He
So
is
is
an
Jimmy Graham,
amazing
but he
tight end,
can't
top
catch
5
shit.
all time guaranteed.
Jimmy Graham was only good on the Saints.
But Rob Gronkowski,
I mean, come on.
Rob Gronkowski
Don't remind
was
me.
fast for somebody for his size, and had great hands and was very physical. I don't care who's running a seam route. If you're wide open on a seam route, it's because of the defense, not because of your route running
Yes.
abilities. He did all his damage right up the middle on the hash and on an in route that he turned upfield and broke a tackle on. Other
What-
than that, he was a chain mover and one of the best, if not the best, blocking tight ends we've ever seen in the NFL.
And
What was the
keep in mind, this is a wide receiver I'm talking about, not a
I
tight
don't
end.
think DK
Yeah,
Metcalf is
he's-
going to ever be a Pro Bowler by any
No,
means.
but
I think
he's
that he's
going
a
to
good
be a
fit
key
for that
piece.
team because if he has to, if he runs the straight route and Russell Wilson breaks up the play, whatever he decides to do, if Russell Wilson throws it to him, the worst case scenario is going to be an incomplete pass because he's too big.
That division's also a lot better than it was last year.
What was the opposite thing? So
Why?
Russell Wilson's an MVP or what?
Yes, why?
Why are they
Why?
a lot better?
49ers are better defensively. The addition just to Nick Bosa.
Plus D Ford. I
Who
guess.
Another
hasn't
guy-
played a snap?
Yeah, another guy that hasn't played a single fucking
sorry.
snap.
D Ford.
Okay.
Okay.
Isn't that the guy that
But
cost
one-
the
But
Chiefs?
he went offside. But it doesn't make him a bad player.
Yeah, but one guy doesn't make a difference for a whole defense.
Wrong.
Correct.
What do you mean wrong?
Ryan Shazier made a big difference by himself.
But that's because.
No. Tell me I'm wrong.
Okay, you're wrong.
Oh, how?
Yeah.
Explain to me how.
Kyle,
Because
you guys were
as soon as he got hurt,
Okay, Kyle,
that team
I'm-
was done.
Let me tell you why. You guys were a top 10 defense last year. You were a top 10 defense
But
statistically
we weren't.
last year.
We weren't statistically, but we're really a top 10 defense.
He
It
just
doesn't
said you
matter. You were a top 10 defense. Okay, when the NFL breaks it down, okay, who was the best defense in the NFL last year? Honestly, who was the best defense in the NFL last year, in your opinion? Who had the best defense?
That's actually hard. I don't.
I'm
Patriots in the
trying to
playoffs.
think back.
New Orleans.
New Orleans had a pretty good defense, but they fell
Well,
down.
New Orleans stepped up. I don't know if they were the best.
They
defense.
They
were
fell
the
apart
best.
down the
They were
stretch.
best. They started off really strong and they gave a shit. They went back to their old got to score more than them shit.
The Bears were probably the
Uh,
best
the
defense.
Bears
I was
were very,
the
very
first
good.
one in
The
my
Bears
head
were
was
the
the Bears.
third best defense in the NFL's eyes last year.
So I think
Dallas.
was it the Ravens?
Honestly,
The
Dallas.
Ravens were the best
Ravens
defense
Yeah,
were
they
in the
were
NFL
they were
last year.
statistically the best.
Statistically the best, but that's how it goes. That's how all NFL rankings
How else
go.
would you rank it?
Huh?
Like, how else would it be ranked if it's not off?
Defense goes. It's a combination of points per game and
No.
yards given
But
up
I'm
per
saying,
game.
like, because it keeps it. Well, that's statistically. How else would you rank it?
Right, exactly.
Like that's
Making
how it's
tackles,
ranked.
Clutch
which the
plays, I
Steelers
guess.
could not.
But you guys still averaged a lower amount of points per game than a lot of defenses and yards per game.
So,
the
Kyle,
thing is, I understand Ryan Shazier made a huge impact for that team, but Ryan Shazier didn't have anything to do with the 20-plus yard pass plays.
Yeah, he did. He covered the tight end.
What about
And
all the
as-
wide receivers
and
that
as
weren't you
soon
guys?
as the tight end, as soon as he went down, every tight end had their way with the Steelers.
But what about wide receivers that had their way with you guys? There were wide receivers that had ways with you
Yeah,
guys.
our corners aren't good.
Ryan Shazier can't stop every running back on every play.
So
I'm not
real-
saying he
real-
wasn't a
real-
huge impact. Ryan Shazier was a humongous impact on that Steelers defense. But one player doesn't take a defense from being a bottom 20 defense to being a top 10 defense.
So real
It
quick,
doesn't.
I just want to. I'm a Steelers fan as
The
well.
Bears were a top 5 defense without Khalil Mack.
Right.
He made them better, but he didn't make them a top
and
5
Kyle,
defense.
I do agree that your Shazier is a huge loss. Absolutely, it's a huge loss. But
He's a playoff team.
I want to ask you a question though. What's your opinion on Keith Butler in general?
He sucks.
So, how much can you attribute to your coordination and your the guy who kind of draws up your defensive plays versus what your personnel is?
I'm not sure I understood that question. Can you
No,
try that
I
again?
get it.
So I guess what I'm saying is that
I
I'm
get
not
that
a huge
certain
Keith
players
Butler fan.
fit scheme. A lot of players don't fit the Steelers.
Right.
scheme.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is that I have personally myself, I really haven't been happy since even when the Dick LeBeau scheme really wasn't working anymore. But at least it was a good run program. I haven't been happy really since he left. So I mean, I do attribute losing Shazier is a huge loss. Absolutely, it's just because the guy is a.
There's
I hate
never.
using this term. He's I'm going to call him a once in a lifetime player. I hate using that term, but he's a once in a lifetime player. But I think there's a lot to be said about someone who runs a good defense, and I don't think Keith Butler is a guy who runs a good defense.
There's
We got to move on. We've been hung on so much too long. What's more likely to happen? The Mets making it to a World Series in the next decade, or the Phoenix Suns making it to the NBA playoffs in the next 3 years?
Mets.
Suns. Suns. And I say that with having not a lot of knowledge on the Suns, but the Suns.
As long as the Mets keep their pitching, they'll be fine.
It's true.
Mock. What's your last one?
The last one that I had, let me pull it up here, is that Chris Sale finishes with less than 10 wins, or CC Sabathia finishes with more than 7.
CC
Sabathia more than
CC will
7.
fin with more than 7.
Not that I don't think Sale's still going to get 10, but Sabathia should have no issue. Because he's still an effective pitcher.
He's pitching very well so far this year.
I think he's at his fattest.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right,
Fatter the
so then
better.
So then swap the numbers. Sale less than 7, CC more than 10.
I could see CC being a 12-13 win guy.
I will still say CC.
I say Sale.
He throws enough to keep you in the game.
Yes.
I think CC, but I feel like the higher the win total, the higher the ERA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like that Bartolo Colon.
That's what I mean, though. He's a veteran pitcher. He's going to keep the
He's an inning
team
eater.
in the game.
Yeah, he's an
He'll
inning
give
eater.
you
Yeah.
6 to 7 innings.
All right. More improbable. This is going back to like years earlier. What's more likely? Somebody will break the NFL rushing touchdowns record, or somebody will break 6,000 passing yards.
6,000 passing yards.
For reference, Peyton Manning holds that record with 5,400 passing yards.
I think we'll see the passing yards record be broken before the rushing touchdowns.
I'm going to go flip-flop on you and go rushing touchdowns.
I'm also going to go rushing touchdowns.
I just don't know who would do it.
I understand why Mock is going with the passing. I'm curious as to why you guys are going with the rushing. Baron, just so you heard, what's more likely? Somebody breaks the rushing touchdown record, or somebody breaks the 6,000 passing yard?
6,000 passing yard. I just feel like we're in a situation now where it's just so passing centric. I do feel that rushing will return, and perhaps sooner than we think. But I think we'll reach a point where there'll be just an insane amount of passing yards and passing touchdowns thrown.
You wanted my reasoning? My reasoning
Yes.
is simple. In an NFL era where the passing game is so dominating, there's still 10 running backs that I could rattle off that are good to give you about 1,000 yards a game.
Yeah.
And all those running backs, their head coaches have no issue giving them the ball inside the 10-yard line. And all of those running backs have no issue ripping off a 50-yard touchdown. I think, unfortunately, that's what it would take. I think it's still a long shot. But we saw, look at what Mahomes did last year. I mean, who's going to throw for 6,000 yards?
I think the problem with that is
Name me a quarterback that has the receiving core to throw for 6,000 yards.
we also are living in a generation
Baker.
of some of the greatest quarterbacks in history, and a lot of them at the exact same time. I don't know that we'll ever get this level of domination from quarterbacks again.
The level of domination from quarterbacks is declining.
Exactly.
It's not at its best.
But we grew up in a generation where it was only on the uptick for a long time.
Right, but in my opinion, and I'm really, really sorry in advance for saying it, I think the only quarterback that has the receiving core to do it is Matt Ryan.
I can see that.
A former MVP caliber quarterback, even if it was just for a season,
I'm getting my gun.
with Ridley and Julio Jones, and
Drew Brees has Mike Thomas. Who else does he have?
Drew Brees is really good at ball distribution.
Yeah.
But
Thomas.
Drew Brees is also he's also really good at knowing the situation, just like quarterbacks, Drew Brees, just like quarterbacks like Andrew Luck, Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers. They're the quarterbacks that, yes, they can make the flashy 60-yard touchdown pass, but they also know that, okay, it's 2nd and 7.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw the 6-yard pass and rush for it on 3rd and 1. Or go for the high percentage play. Those are the quarterbacks. Mahomes is still going to have to prove that he's going to be like that quarterback to me. Russell Wilson's the quarterback that he knows he can pick it up with his legs on 3rd and 1 if he has to. The same thing with like the Garoppolos and those other, Watsons, the quarterbacks like that. But I just don't see. Manning did it how many years ago now was it?
2014, was it?
So 4 years.
13, 14.
In 4 years, and nobody's really come close.
That was the 2013 season.
All right, so we're at 6 years. This will be the 6th season since then.
What did Mahomes finish with last year?
You finished with 51.
Was it?
I changed my mind. Him.
The reason I say the passing yards.
5,097, so 51.
I say the rushing touchdowns because I think.
I guess I should specialize that because I more so meant going for LaDainian Tomlinson's
The
record.
28 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that only rushing?
No,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
28
Or total.
rushing, 31 total.
Okay.
Yeah, 28 rushing and 31
Barkley.
and 3 receiving. But I'm saying we are already in the era of going back to running.
Absolutely.
It's just hasn't made that transition yet because there aren't enough predominant running backs. Like Jordan Howard has the ability to be that running back that is strictly running back. But
Barkley.
I'm sorry, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I am more fearful of what Barkley, Elliott, Gurley, and Gordon are doing with the ball in their hands on the ground than what they're doing with it out of the backfield.
And Kamara.
Running a route on the backfield. No, Kamara I'm more fearful of running out of the backfield.
Come on, he's got nose rings.
My my reasoning for the passing yards thing is, it comes back to kind of Gurley last year was, we saw him the first 3 quarters of the year, he was unstoppable.
That was 2 years ago.
It was last season.
No, because he stopped playing when we got
To the
past
first
Denver's.
quarter of the year.
Oh,
I said the first 3 quarters of the season. He was
First 3 quarters.
unstoppable. And then towards the end, he was banged up and they were scaling his touches back and no one was kind of knowing why.
Chubb Anderson took over and
But
killed
it's those things where
He also had arthritis in his knees.
but that's what I mean, like
That could do it.
we see these players that they get a ton of carry and I just don't see a top end running back like that getting enough work to get the 28 rushing touchdowns.
See, the league is transitioning to a league where they're trying to get smaller and faster on defense to handle all the distribution of the ball, like you see from Drew Brees, like you see from Pat Mahomes. And that's letting running backs run all over these people because they can just power through them. When the league shifts fully, like Riddler was talking about, to trying to stop the pass, that's when the reemergence of the running back is going to come back. And
even being an elusive back out of the backfield in terms of receiving the football, and with a very poor last 4 to 5 games, Todd Gurley still rushed for 17 touchdowns.
Yeah.
If Todd Gurley played at his level for all 16 games, he probably would have rushed for 22 touchdowns.
I do
agree with
think
that.
I do think that we can see someone break the total touchdowns record before the rushing record.
you think we see somebody hit
I don't think
32
so.
before they hit 28 rushing touchdowns?
No, I don't think so.
I could see that.
I don't think so.
I could see it with someone like a Christian McCaffrey.
No, because Christian McCaffrey would have to receive like 20 touchdowns.
Plus, he's getting tested
And then
positive
rush for 11.
PEDs this year. You heard it
but,
here
I'm
first.
saying, but I'm saying like McCaffrey would have to rush for double digits
No, that guy
and run
weighs
for double digits
300
and receive for double
pounds.
digits. I don't see him doing it.
So-
Christian McCaffrey is a yardage back, not a touchdowns back.
He had a lot of touchdowns last year.
But a lot of them
He
were
had
from
to have come
receiving.
close to 20. I mean, 20. I mean, I know that's still a far way off. I understand, but that's what I mean. Like, I think we would see somebody beat the 31 total before the 28 just rushing.
It's possible. I mean, we weigh heavily on the LaDainian Thompson record is impressive because that season he was an MVP not because of the touchdowns, but because of the rushing, because of the receiving as a running back. It just across the
Because he
board.
was dominant. He was the most valuable
Right.
player.
It was for a running back that's the last.
Christian
all across
McCaffrey
the
had
board.
13 touchdowns total.
He had 13 total.
13 touchdowns.
Out of fantasy points, though.
Yeah, I mean, he
Yards-wise.
had 1,900 combined yards from scrimmage.
I just remember
or
like,
from offense, I should say, not from scrimmage. I don't know what he did from special teams. He finished just under 1,100 yards rushing, and he had 867 yards receiving. I think we're more likely to see another 1,000 back before we're likely to see any of the touchdown records broken. But I think the total touchdowns record, I don't know. I don't think it'll ever be touched. I think 31 will remain untouched. Honestly,
Gurley got close to 1,000 last year and the year before. Gurley got close to 1,000.
McCaffrey got really close this year. He was
I was saying
130.
Barkley had to have been close too, because I know he was over 2,000 all-purpose. I don't know. I don't know what the splits
Let's
were.
see Barkley's stats. I got it. Nice.
Whoa! Oh,
Da-da-da-da-da.
How does that
Jesus!
Rushing, he had 1,300 yards,
So he had-
and receiving he had 721.
Yeah.
So I mean, but like the thing is, like that's not really close.
No, I thought he was
Yeah,
closer than that.
280
I know
yards
he
is
had
still a lot to
2,000.
receive for a running back.
That's
I
like
mean,
4
280
games.
yards. Yeah, might be 4.
That's what it's.
Or I mean, might be more than 4 is what I meant. Like 721. You figure 721 divided by 16. I mean, I don't know why I'm like trying to guess it in my head.
Wake up, kid.
He averaged 45 yards a game.
Yeah,
so he
receiving.
needed what? What did I say he needed? 280?
Yeah.
So 280 divided by 45 probably would have needed like 7 games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
No,
It's just like-
I knew he had 2,000 yards. I thought he was closer than that.
but I mean, I think we'll see the 1,000 back before we see anything else, and I think like McCaffrey would probably be the guy to do it just because he has the speed. But I think I can see the rushing touchdowns happening before. I think Manning's record will be broken, but I don't think we'll see 6,000.
Well, you got to figure. I mean, if someone hits that rushing touchdown, it's very possible to get the. I mean, that's 3 more. If you got a running back scoring that, I mean, they're gonna get receiving touchdowns. You know what I mean?
Not necessarily, though. I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, like utilized correctly, a back like Jordan Howard could do it. It could break the rushing touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to get receiving touchdowns. It's just not his forte.
Ooh. No fart there, but I'll give you like a positive.
Beer reviews, Mass.
I had Gunner's Daughter. Is overtaken. Winterbane is my favorite beer. 5 stars. Fantastic.
Wow.
Relic sucks. Sorry.
All right.
But it does.
I like a lot of their stuff.
It's right up there with
Relic.
Relic, I can sum up Relic Brewery for you in about 1 sentence. The first beer, you're like, wow, comma. The second beer, you're like, why?
I will admit, Winterbane is pretty much the only one that I've liked that I've tried from them. So
Leaf Storm is absolutely fucking atrocious. If you're ever in a package store and you see Leaf Storm and you're thinking to yourself, wonder if I should get that. No, you shouldn't.
I'll leave it alone.
Guinness IPA, better decision. It is.
Ooh, odd face from Mock.
I don't know. I like the Leaf Star.
Oh my god, it's so bad. Oh. Mock.
My Kettle One and Sprite cold medicine was pretty good.
Didn't do the trick though, huh?
No, I'm getting sicker.
Just drink more.
Getting sicker as the show goes.
More
Hey,
sick.
you better finish that
That's
bottle.
for the ride home.
I like
You
it.
need some
I like
mountain
it.
medicine.
Oh, we got some ambrosia for you on the right now.
J-Mart.
Sea Hag is a Sea Hag. It's always a good IPA to have. Hag.
What a killer review. I love it.
You know, I don't remember the name of the first beer I had.
It was the Hoppy Haitian.
Whatever. It was average. 2 stars.
It wasn't the Haitian.
Then I went to the.
It was like Hoppy Hatua or something like that.
It was like Hoppy Haiti.
Then I went to the Norm,
Souls went to the Old Faithful.
and
No, it's not the Old Faithful. The Old Faithful's too juicy.
Hey, you drank it.
I don't know. I think he's moved on.
No, the Old Faithful's too juicy. We used to get him too juicy just to hear him talk about the juice, and now he's thrown it to the
Super
side.
Duper Double Citra is the beer. It's
That's right.
It's his
I
life.
agree.
The
I agree.
2019 beer of 4 souls.
It's true. Something can replace it.
Red Baron.
let me
He
be
liked-
clear.
He liked the Blood versus Unicorn or Ninja versus Unicorn.
It's true. 3 beers for me tonight. I started with Passion Fruit Ghost from Two Roads, Connecticut brewed, 5.2%, $13 a pop, a 4-pack.
How much percent?
5.2.
I heard him say 500%.
500%,
Could you
5.2%.
imagine?
Golden color, kind of an other aroma. It's a sour beer. It's how it goes. I like sour beers. This did not really rank high for me versus the other beers in that series. 2 stars, doubtful I would get that beer again.
Well, you wouldn't steal it again.
Wouldn't steal it again.
What, you
right.
stole it?
It's it's a big. My sister, it's like her favorite beer. Could you believe that?
Shout out Shannon Reed.
Shout out Shannon Reed. Why would you like that beer? She'll never listen to the show or podcast, so it doesn't matter. I can talk. I stole 50 beers. Of her.
Imagine she called you right now.
Gotta be- I also had the Sea Hag from Nebco, Connecticut beer as well. 6.2%, about $9 a pop, perhaps. Amber in color, aroma of bread. I just like that aroma. It probably doesn't smell like bread, but I like the smell of bread. Flavor bread, earthy, very tasty.
Flavor bread.
Why is that even an option?
I don't know. It's so funny.
Very tasty.
Well, like, the bread flavor is like if it has that starchy taste to it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like because they should have used starchy, but like
Yeah.
bread versus green is different. Like grainy kind of has like that grittiness, whereas bread
Right.
is more like that starchy.
Yeah,
flavor.
exactly. This is like
You're
a
talking
top.
to the show's expert here.
Right, and Riddler is the guy. For Connecticut, it's a top IPA.
Nobody's had more booze than me on the show.
It's true.
It's not even close.
It's a very tasty beer. I prefer it on draft versus in the can or bottle, whatever. And my last beer I had was via the Riddler. Riddler donated a beer to me, completing my trifecta. The 312 Dry Hop from Goose Island, Chicago.
Catch up. I've had a lot of shows where I've only had one beer. I think the Red Baron's getting through his journal faster. But he's not putting the labels in here like I am.
No, you're way ahead of me. I'm usually like a one beer show guy. But the 312 Dry Hop from Goose Island, $15 a pop. I'm just guessing on that.
$10.99.
Wow.
$10.99 4-pack.
$10.99. Way
Hard
better.
to find though.
Don't shop where I shop. 4.2%.
Your imagination.
Yeah, my best guess. From Chicago, Illini. A golden color. The aroma, bread is like my go-to smell, I guess. Very easy drinking, very tasty.
Odd shot that. Just bread is my favorite smell.
Bread is my favorite smell. It's not heavy at all. Excellent. I love dry hopped ale. It's a huge beer selling term. It's excellent. I give it 3 stars. Absolutely would get again. Very tasty. I enjoyed it a lot.
I'm nervous because this can has liquid in it, but I thought I finished this. We're going to find out. So I started off with the 312 Dry Hopped Ale from Goose Island in Chicago, Illini. Mine was only $10.99 a 4-pack because I shopped the deals. I had straw and gold colors. I got a grainy and citrus aroma, a mild lemon. And for flavor, I got citrus and grainy. I thought it was light but full-bodied, and it was crushable, but still yet very enjoyable one at a time. I give it 4 stars and said I'd absolutely get it again. And then I finished off with The Calling, a double IPA from Boulevard Brewing out of Kansas City, Missouri. 8.5%, also strong golden, also grainy and citrus. Flavor-wise, though, citrus and floral. I thought it was extremely floral on the taste. It was very crisp and bitter, but didn't drink as heavy as the ABV would suggest it would be. I gave it 3.5, and I said that sure, I would get it again.
Oh, now.
No. Machcine.
Oh, now.
I don't know, out of curiosity, if some of these people wanted to know where they could find us, where should they look?
Oh, now.
That's where you find us. Yeah.
Be sure to find us on Facebook. Facebook and Instagram at Getting Sports with Drunk.
Oh, now.
Twitter is GSWD_4.
Make sure you use the hashtag GSWD for all your daily uses, whether you agree with that or hone now.
Oh, now.
I thought Jeff would really like that one. Oh, the Twitter poll.
I know.
We'll do it after.
We should get the
Jeff,
domain for
did you hear my Twitter thing?
Oh, now?
No, you bitch. You fucking bitch.
Subscribe
he
on
said Twitter. Oh, no, hold on. He said Twitter. I said make sure to use the hashtag GSWD for all your daily uses, whether you'd agree with that or hone now.
Oh, yeah.
Be sure to find us and subscribe on Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and Spotify.
That's fucking illegal.
We're here on the PPRN Radio Network every Monday from 8 to 11.
Oh, now.
Be sure to check out the Peter Pino Show tomorrow night and Wednesday night from 7:30 to 10:30. I believe me and Kendall are there tomorrow. And we did forget the Twitter poll.
Yeah, the Twitter poll.
This was a good one. We had a lot of interaction.
5 people. No.
No. Let me pull it up
So
here.
this what I mentioned the can earlier. It tastes like what's in here is beer, but not this beer.
Oh, did you pour any of the foam you had in there?
Nah, I slurped that down like a awesome cure.
So the post that I posted, I asked our loyal fans, who right now is your NBA playoffs MVP?
Kevin Durant.
Option number 1 was Giannis. Option 2,
It's Giannis.
Giannis, sorry. Option
And
2, Lillard. Option 3, Harden. Option 4, Durant.
Durant.
So,
Hold on, though. Yeah, Durant playoffs MVP.
just playoffs.
Durant. But right now, I wanted to say this earlier. I forgot to. This series against the Sixers, Kawhi is averaging 37 points per game on 62% shooting. 65% shooting. The last player to, that's right, 65% shooting. The last player to that, Michael Jordan, averaged 36 points a game in a playoff series on 62% shooting. And LeBron, Kobe, Kevin Durant, and you can just rattle off every other great that's ever played a lot of playoff series, has never averaged more than 30 points per game on over 55% shooting.
So, there were some people that wrote in Kawhi. A couple people wrote in Kyrie. One guy wrote in Murray, but he also said everyone hates the Nuggets.
I don't hate the Nuggets. I just hate Jamal Murray.
A couple guys put in Jokic. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Now to the cards, buddy. Get back to
One guy wrote in Steph Curry, and someone instantly said no.
Yeah, he actually, he said, like, his games have either been, like, magical or just kind of bleh.
Did anybody just see him straight up miss the dunk the other night?
Wow, so funny.
So
there was an ESPN, like, score center thing, like a Photoshop thing, where it was, like somebody committed foul, shooting foul. Kevin Durant makes free throw 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 3 of 3. Steph Curry blocked by rim.
So here were the results. I'll go from 4 to 1. With 4%, we had 180 votes.
Wow.
With 4%, James Harden.
Who'd you vote for?
I don't remember. With 17%, Giannis. With 31%, Durant. 48%, Damian Lillard.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody were to beat KD, it should be Dame out of those 4 you mentioned. Nobody that was written in should beat either of them. But, I mean, KD is just fucking on fire. I think he's averaging like 34 points a game for the playoffs.
So, thank you everybody who voted.
Yes, thank you.
We'll get another one up there soon for next week.
Yeah. And, next week we will be without everyone's favorite household appliance, Machcine Washable. He'll be away on business. Hopefully he'll be able to Skype
I'm
us.
going to try and Skype in.
But 2 weeks from today, Getting Sports with Drunk's 100th show.
100.
It's going to be average. Make sure you tune in. I'm thinking maybe if we can get a couple bones from each member, buy a nice bottle of champagne.
I'd like to do that.
Maybe a Jackson
Pop
or
some
two.
bottles.
Pop some bottles. Maybe if everyone's, depending on how much bones we get, maybe everyone gets a bottle of Dom. Who knows?
I was thinking we do champagne for the whole show.
You mean champagne? It's a weird
Champagne.
accent you got there.
You know what?
Sorry, I'm from
He just
Jersey.
wants Miller High Lives.
Well, if we can do that.
That's not
What about
important.
mountain
That's not
medicine?
important until next week's sign off.
Yeah.
Make sure to stay tuned into all the PPRN programming, as Machcine mentioned, with the PPRN or the Peter Pino Show, Mixtape Saturday, etc., etc., etc. And we will see you guys back here next week at 8ish. But until then, I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler.
I'm Mark.
Sheen Washable.
Nah.
I'm home now.
I'm sold.
The Mask Chris Massey.
And I'm the Red Baron.
No.